Is it working?
All right. Hello, everyone. We are live today with Eternal Flame talking about Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter 253 spoilers and hopefully the actual chapter because it should
Was
release
goody,
pretty
everybody?
soon. Yes. So, Flame, I'll ask you, what did you think of this chapter?
At first it was a 4 out of 10 because the Maki fanboys were starting to get glazed, and then it went to a 10 out of 10 because of the goat showing up himself, Kusakabe.
Kusakabe really getting some surprising levels of gas because I wasn't like everybody's been saying Kusakabe is going to be insane, like, oh, he's the GOAT. But now Gege Akatame, it turns out all this gas was for a pretty good purpose, which is crazy to me. I didn't
He's about to show why he's him.
I never expected to see a Kusakabe versus Sukuna ever.
I never expected to see a 1v1 between them. Like, I thought Kusakabe was going to be playing support, but no, this man's about to 1v1 him. But I'm expecting Kusakabe to live because of the man, the GOAT himself, doesn't want to be here. Everyone else wants to be there. That's why he's going to live.
He's a true potential man.
Exactly.
Now I'm going to ask chat, is Kusakabe, oh no. Was this chapter a banger? Why not just copy-paste the same thing I asked every stream?
Of course, for streamers, we have to be generic.
That's generic. It's all about being generic. That's what they teach you on YouTube. Be as generic as possible.
Yeah.
It's in the handbook. Okay.
Someone in chat just typed Kusakabe over Kashimo. I completely agree with you.
Yeah, Kusakabe over Kashimo. My farmer catching strays all the time. Poor Maki. She didn't land a hit this chapter. She almost died twice. Well,
oh no, there was a missing page, right? There was a missing
page.
Yeah, there was a missing page where she landed one hit.
All right, she's above Kashimo, confirmed. Confirmed. That's all we need. No, I'm kidding.
Bruh.
Maki is a big disappointment. Maki is, well, it's more like everyone's, like, the power scaling for these characters is like whatever breadcrumbs Sukuna gives them.
Exactly.
That's what it feels like at this point.
No one scales to Sukuna. You can make too many arguments, so you just might as well not. It is the most painful thing in the world.
I'm just waiting until the end of, like, the whole fight. Maybe the end of the series, and then we can say, like, okay, when he's literally a corpse and dead and doesn't come back to life, then we can say Sukuna's going all out for sure.
100%.
Very mid-chapter, only thing noticeable, Sukuna's Black Flash, and also standard ambiguous Gege backstory. I kind of get where you're coming from. I did feel like the major event here is Black Flash, but, we have the setup. Not every chapter can be a top-of-the-line, like, major reveal. And once the serialization is done, it's going to feel a lot better.
100%. Like, so much of this is just, like, a lot of the fatigue effect just comes from the fact we're reading it week to week, which is, like, a lot of the problems for it that I feel. If it was just all out at once, a lot of people would be fine with it and cool with it.
Yeah, once it's all out, once the serialization is done, I think that's the biggest negative, and that's how I felt about the Takaba fight. I don't care at all about the Takaba fight, and watching that, like, I zoned out during those weeks. I know some people loved it, but, I mean, to each their own.
I don't know how.
To each their own.
Yeah.
I just want the box reveal already. I agree, Zachariah. It has been a long-ass time, and until that thing's opened up, it's just waiting to happen.
Yeah.
I think it's a psych out. Kusakabe going to get close to fighting, and last second someone going to jump in, and he will be relieved. That's what it kind of seems like at times, only because, well, Maki got launched off a building. I saw people say she got blood splatted across the wall, but we did not see Maki die. He's not even facing the same direction. I don't know how people came to that conclusion, but she got launched off a building and hit by a Black Flash. I do think it's going
to be a psych out, to be honest. I think someone has to show up, and it's not good. Like, if the editors themselves say Kusakabe really is going to be the one fighting them, someone 100% is about to show up. That's not Kusakabe.
I mean, Maki might heal, but she did get Black Flash by Sukuna.
I don't think Maki is healing from that.
I think it's ridiculous that the moment Sukuna decided to, he perception blitzed her and just Black Flashed her.
100%.
Is he faster than his own slashes?
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
It's been like that for a little bit because, like, back in 216, I think it is, or 215, he kind of like outspeeds his own slashes when he cuts through Ryu. And
I
he's
think
like
he
on
just
the other
passed
side of
through.
Ryu before Ryu just falls over.
I think it was more of a pass through. I think he's used his hands on that one. 'Cause he had like the claw hands we haven't seen yet.
Oh yeah, right.
Well, we saw
yeah.
it for a second against Gojo where he like slapped his face.
Yeah. But either way, I do think Sukuna's fast in his slashes.
Yeah, I mean, considering Maki was dodging a world slash, like straight up jumping one or ducking one.
Yeah. Though,
And-
Six made a good interpretation for this recently, like on Twitter, where basically it's an interpretation of using RCT was nerfing him, so the second he stopped, he kind of honed in and got a lot faster and stronger. So maybe it was just like
Maybe I took it more as though like he was so focused that he just dropped RCT because of how hyped he was to Black Flash, like the same hyperfixation where Yuji's like drooling before he Black Flashes. Like he was so focused on like the agenda of body this person that he just did that. But maybe Six is right there.
Yeah.
I doubt we'll ever know for sure.
100%, I doubt it because Gege does not like explaining things sometimes.
No, Gege does not like explaining things at all.
Exactly.
Excited for the new Kit Kat flavor called Kusakabe. That is diabolical.
Nah, that's mean.
That is diabolical. Who do you think will be the one to push Sukuna to go all out? Surely it has to be Megumi. It's going to be Megumi or Yuji. Or maybe everybody together. But like, yeah, Yuji and Megumi. Those are the two.
At first, I thought like Gege was going to go for the entire death by 1,000 cuts type thing, where he just slowly weakens him more and more with each character. But considering he just landed the Black Flash and he's going to start recovery, yeah, no, not at all.
The 120% potential of Sukuna, who's never used maxed output. It's crazy.
Oh boy. Sukuna's about to go nuts. Y'all aren't believers.
Black Flash so hard, your opponent changes. My God, people are savage today. Man, yeah, poor Maki.
Yeah.
Maybe we just need Hakari to show up, guys. He just needs to finally finish up his side fight. They're holding him back. They're stalling him.
Hakari's been using Urame to charge for his 777 Black Flash.
Yeah, he's been charging. He's rolling it. So like when he hits the super jackpot, he's gonna run over and like land on a shipping container to fight Sukuna.
Yeah. He's gonna launch the shipping container, the island level shipping container at Sukuna and kill him in one shot.
So something I wanted to ask you actually, and I'll ask chat here. Do we think that... Well, do we think Ino's dead for one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think Ino's dead?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't give a shit if Ino's dead, I'll be honest. Like, who... Ino Glazer's in here. I can say whatever I want.
Bodies to the slaughter.
Yeah. Bodies to the slaughter. That's what it feels like. And do you think Sukuna is getting too powerful? Because personally, I see this a lot. But I was never under, like... I always assumed he'd be this strong. Or maybe not. I shouldn't say that, because I didn't assume he'd be this strong. But I should say I always assumed he would be strong enough to clear these people.
In my opinion, a little bit too strong, purely because of what the Black Flash should be doing to recover him. And, like, all of the built-up damage over time is just now, like, kind of being null and void. But at the same time... I don't know. I'm currently leaning closer to still no. Like, I think Gege does have a plan to deal with him, because I think he learned from, what was it called again? Gojo, and how to deal with that.
Yeah.
If Gojo was ever too strong.
I should say that I never in my wildest dreams expected Sukuna to do some of the things he's done and be so powerful that like they're like, oh, he's never going all out. But as far as him winning like this, I'm not particularly surprised.
Oh, yeah.
The moment
Same
you have
here.
Kashimo say, like, oh, I'm fighting him next, you're like, okay, it's a gauntlet. And it does feel boring at times that, like, like, Yuji has to fight him. He has to, at some point. So every
100%.
character in between Yuji and Sukuna is just like, okay, they lose.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of like, it's an inevitable thing. Like, no one else is putting down Sukuna. I think the death of Gojo proved that to everybody.
Yeah. It's Yuta over and Maki over. Soon going to be Kusakabe over.
Nah.
That's mean, man.
He'll live. Kusakabe is gonna live.
I'm curious if we'll see like a reveal here that Kusakabe, since he has no curse technique, maybe Sukuna will comment on that and be like, oh, that's unique. Oh, like, I'll show you what you can do without a curse technique or something. Maybe there could be some interesting stuff
I hope
there.
that. That would be sick. Like Sukuna actually straight up respects him for not having a curse technique and decides, you know what? Let's fight you without a curse technique. Come on, bring it on.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sukuna is him. That he is. Solid. That he is. It's just that guy.
100%.
Lore accurate. Lore accurate. They show the
Lore
entire...
accurate
It is lore
Sukuna.
accurate. The whole time, the whole series, you're like, oh, this guy was like the strongest guy in the strongest era, and Gojo's like, wow, Ryomen Sukuna, it's an honor to be hunted by you.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I love Gojo. I do. But I love that Gojo's a curious character. Because when he interacts with the characters in the world, he basically got the idea of, like, you're the strongest thrusted upon him. Eternally stuck living up to that. You see him fight Sukuna. He does his absolute damnedest. And he gets the acknowledgement from somebody that he respects. Because on some level, Gojo respected Sukuna as a powerhouse. Maybe not as a person, but, like, as a force. As a Jujutsu force.
100%.
So when Sukuna's like, you were magnificent, Gojo's like, finally, it's not a bunch of fodder telling me I'm strong. It's a guy I think is strong as well. And I think it's a pretty cool moment.
It's why I think Gojo's not coming back, because I don't think Gojo would want to come back. Which is what my main issue always comes with when it comes to Gojo coming back theories. He will not want to come back.
Gojo coming back. My opinion on this has flip-flopped so much. I'm not... With how strong Sukuna is now, it's like if Gojo comes back, you can still have characters that, like, all together fight him.
Yeah.
I really, with how they're portraying Sukuna as like, oh, he's holding back. They say it like 4 times, like 3 or 4 times in the series now. You're like, okay. Like, Gojo coming back might not be the guaranteed trump card that we thought it was.
Yep. Like, especially now that we know that Sukuna can just cast the World Slash. And, yeah. Like, the World Slash was literally built to be a perfect counter to Gojo. Which is my other issue with Gojo coming back. There's no reason why, if Gojo does come back, he doesn't just immediately die again.
Yeah. Sukuna is powerful enough that I think this is just going to justify Gojo and Yu's return to team up with Yuji. I'm not a Gojo Kofer, but it feels like this. I kind of agree. I agree a little bit. Like, I was so on the train that Gojo was just dead forever, because I'm like, okay, well, like, the characters are not going to be able to do anything. It's just going to be like, oh, he's going to steal the spotlight again. But with how Sukuna's being set up now, where they're like, oh, he hasn't even locked in. Oh, Gojo was actually a bum in the Heian era, is basically what Irame says. I'm like, okay, well, if he comes back, they might actually be able to do something interesting with him.
Also, if Gojo comes back, wouldn't he just not have his 6 eyes anymore now that I think about it? Because, like, we do know there are other Gojo clan members because of what's been said in, like, the most recent chapter.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, like, unless a baby was born with the 6 eyes, like, this week. Like, in the past, like, 8 hours.
No, they were betting on Gojo's downfall. They're like, now's the time.
Yeah, they're just like, there's just like the next clan head is just like waiting for his son to be born. Like, alright, Gojo's dead, this is it, guys, we can do surf the house. Like,
Bruh.
The fact that Yuji has yet to hit a Black Flash in the endgame is criminal. It is kind of criminal.
Oh, 100%.
I don't think he's actually... Has he hit a Black Flash in the... It's only in the anime.
He hasn't hit one since the Mahito fight.
Yeah, it's only... Oh, no, I think...
Oh, there is
Yuji,
a lot of
Yuta.
explanations.
Sorry, excuse me.
There was a lot of reasons for why Yuji hasn't hit one since the Mahito fight. I think he's going to hit one in this fight. I think they just wanted to show Sukuna doing it first. So I think Yuji's Black Flash is coming soon.
Plank is saying speed equals Gojo is greater than Sukuna, greater than Hall of Purple. Travel speed equals greater than Maki/Toji reaction speed. Dismantle travel speed. I don't know. I don't like the way Sukuna is portrayed here without blue. Like, maybe Gojo's faster with blue, but Sukuna has been portrayed multiple times as straight up vanishing from characters who have seen Gojo fight.
Yep. Like, I think it's becoming more and more clear. The body matters, and that Sukuna's true Heian form is much physically stronger than Meguna or even Yuji.
They have made a note multiple times now. He is just crazy fast. Yuji, like, they all watched the Sukuna fight with Gojo. They should have an idea. They all could
perceive that fight.
They should have an idea.
The thing people try and say is, oh, maybe they were slowing down the footage. That doesn't work because they were watching it live and reacting to it live. So, no.
Gojo has the blue, and that's also the only time when he uses blue, that is the only time Sukuna's like, wow, this speed is unbelievable. Wait, there's more to it because it's, it's hack speed.
Yeah.
It's more of like a slingshot with blue, dragging himself to somebody. It's
100%.
not like, and he's used it a couple times in combat, but as far as like delivering a punch out of blue, he's never done that. He's teleported himself to punch. He's teleported himself to grab onto Sukuna, but that's about it.
100%.
Being a spectator and a player is different, yeah, but when has Gojo ever been portrayed as being as fast as Sukuna without blue?
The important thing is they can still react to and watch it happen live as a spectator. That's why it's still important. Because if they were moving so fast, it'd effectively be like when humans try and watch people fight in Dragon Ball.
They also watch the Gojo fight from like 17 screens and angles at once. Yeah, I mean that's fair. I'm just saying I don't think Gojo without blue was ever portrayed as fast as Sukuna. I think the only time Gojo's speed is ever noted as like insane is with his technique for like temporary slingshots. All other times they're fighting pretty evenly, and now Sukuna is portrayed as literally vanishing in front of characters.
Yeah, it's like Sukuna's true form is just nuts.
I think blue's faster still. I do.
Oh, agreed.
Because blue is blue. It's more of it's like a hack's warp.
Oh, that's fair, Plank.
Yeah, blue is... Yeah, I agree. I agree if we're talking about blue. For sure. There was that one time Gojo speed blitzed Meguna and gave him a hug. Yeah, with blue.
Yeah.
That's how Sukuna knew his technique came back.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, wait, this isn't normal speed from Gojo. It's his blue. And then he got red in the face.
Yeah.
He's like, oh shit, his technique's back. Maki is fine, guys. I'm taking care of it. I'm taking care of it. Chill,
Plank. No, don't. No. The Toji agenda doesn't have to end here.
Do you think Gege will ever give proper closure to Gojo's death, or just leave it as is? I think we're definitely gonna get closure to it.
100%.
I'd be amazed if we didn't.
Yeah.
It does kind of feel like we've been at such a fast pace recently, but at the same time, Gege Akatame is like, oh, we're just gonna dump out whatever we want here. Like, I'm just gonna slow down and do a whole Takaba fight in the middle of this, and then we're gonna immediately go back.
100%.
Sukuna is pure plot now. Not even close.
Yeah.
I think the only legitimate plot issue I have with Sukuna's fight so far is just the Kabutoke. That kind of pissed me off. Where I'm like, oh, he just gets this cursed object that vanishes for no other reason.
I mean, I do and don't agree with that, because if Kabutoke was still around, everyone would be even more screwed than they are.
Well, I more so mean that like he basically got it back for like the one purpose of getting rid of it in the domain.
True.
Everything else is like, okay, yeah, Sukuna's just him. And that's how he's been portrayed, but that was like a straight up convenience.
Agreed.
And even with the cleave with Yuta, we see now that like characters can interrupt cleave. That just happened with Maki this chapter. Sukuna will win, start the merger, fight the curse and lose, accept a new ideology, gets eaten by Yuji again, and then Yuji goes, fights, and beats the merger curse. It's an interesting theory, ZB, but thank you very much for the support.
I'd agree if it wasn't for the fact that to start the merger, all of the Culling Games players need to be dead. Something people forget about.
The Kabutoke being taken away was actually helpful. He would have smoked Yuta and Yuji with it. I think it was helpful. I just think, like, you have to think, how lucky is he to have this, like, alright, he gets an airdrop, like, 15 seconds before they jump him.
Yeah.
Well, not 15 seconds. I mean, like, 5 minutes before they jump him with the thing to take it away.
100%.
Completely unplanned by either party, too.
Yeah.
The Kabutoke's only feats are not doing anything on a farmer and killing birds. Yeah, but I mean, it's a Sukuna curse tool.
To be fair, those are life-exchanging birds that could one-shot a special-grade curse.
Can 6 eyes be activated like Sharingan? No, they are active 24/7. That's why Gojo
If Gojo could deactivate them, he would.
Yeah, he wouldn't wear the blindfold all the time otherwise.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even prior to the 24/7 Infinity, he was wearing a blindfold because it's just so exhausting.
Also, Nathan, know when, because that's a rule added to the culling games. Even if the player's dead, that rule is still in. Kashimo added a rule to the culling games. That's not gone.
You call your bong comms what? What Tiberius?
What? What?
I see you've named your bong after the Kamato.
Okay then.
But thank you for the support, man. Would still love to see that staff come into play. I agree, Tostado. I don't know if we're going to see it. I wouldn't be surprised, though. It does seem like it's on the way eventually.
I kind of hope we don't, because Sukuna has enough already. I don't think he needs another weapon.
Yeah, it is
on
kind
top
of
of what he's
ridiculous.
hiding.
Cleave got interrupted because Sukuna's low curse energy / CT output. If not for low output, Sukuna would have cleaved through Maki and even Yuta. I don't think that's even stated here. Is that stated anywhere? That's just headcanon.
I think that's just headcanon. I don't remember that being stated.
Yeah, how low is Sukuna's curse energy output? Clearly not low enough to matter.
Yep.
Especially when they say he didn't lock in the entire time. Like, ever since, with the multiple he's not going all out statements, I have no idea where this guy's actually at. Even the narrator.
Their chance to take him out. They missed their chance, and Yuta's domain was the perfect chance. Unfortunately, they went for the saving Megumi plan instead of killing for Sukuna.
Yeah, that's why I'm not scaling any characters particularly right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never cared a tremendous amount for the power scaling in Jujutsu Kaisen compared to
the best you can do is scale characters in comparison to each other that's not named Sukuna. Like Yuta and Yuji in comparison, for example.
Yeah. I got indoctrinated into power scaling. I didn't give a shit when I started YouTube, and then, like, inevitably it just happens.
Yeah.
It just happens. I named my bong Playful Cloud. That is actually an amazing bong name.
Bruh.
With a threat like Sukuna, you kind of need backup plans for backup plans. Very true, and Kusakabe is the greatest backup plan.
Yeah. You see, this is how the series is actually going to end. Everyone is going to die, and then a nuke is going to be dropped on Sukuna. That's the backup plan.
What is going to happen if if Hakari loses to Urame? Who fights her? Choso? Question mark? Definitely not Choso, Valentine.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he could, but he's kind of like there giving Yuji the pep talk while Maki gets black flashed off a roof.
Yeah.
And Boku no Color, thank you for the support, man. Ayo, Flames here too, dope. Have a good stream, guys. I got some peak Kusakabe work ready for you guys. It's Kusakabeing time. Lock in. Kusakabeing time. It goes harder than I expected. Yeah, man. Good to see you. Good to see you, Boku no Color. Glorious artist on Twitter, guys. A glorious colorist. You should check him out.
Check out Boku no Color. He's great.
He is great. Link in the description of the stream.
Yeah.
It's during the fight with Yuta. Sukuna himself stated his CT output is low, which is why Dismantle failed to kill, so he'd have to use Cleave, but later Cleave also failed on Yuta. I don't think it failed on Yuta. I don't think he caught Yuta with a Cleave the entire time.
It was Yuji who he caught with the Cleave.
Yeah, he caught with a Cleave. He caught him with a Cleave, and then Yuta stopped him mid Cleave. So we've seen multiple times now it can be interrupted.
Yep.
And in the case of Yuta, his Cleave is tied to holding onto his katana or touching him, the same way as Sukuna. Yeah. I have to wonder if when he grabbed onto the katana, when he realizes that, like, oh, this is my technique, if he just uses, like, little chainsaw hands.
Oh, good. I could see it.
I think that this whole gauntlet is for Gege to close out side characters before moving into the final battle and the merger.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If by closing out side characters you mean eliminating them one by one, definitely.
That's very Gege.
That is very Gege. Like, your role is done. Die to Sukuna seems to be the...
Man, Toto got so lucky.
Yeah, Toto, dude. Toto actually got to exit and live life. That's a rarity in JJK. Did anyone really expect Maki to do any better than she did? I mean, not me.
I expected her to do a little bit better. I was expecting her to get the curse technique out of Sukuna, not a black flash, but I'm happy enough with that.
there seems to be like a true agenda Kaisen when between like the heavy hitters and like which one's the strongest that I have just never cared about personally.
Same here. The
Like
heavy hitters do
like
not
the
matter that
Yuta and
much.
Hakari fans at their throats, and I'm like, Jade was telling me all about it. He's been on the front of that war for a while.
Yep.
I'm like, all right, preach to me. Just tell me why Hakari's got this. If Hakari does show up and performs better than all of them, Yuta fans are gonna lose it.
Oh yeah,
They're
100%.
gonna lose it, dude. It's gonna be kinda
Especially
funny.
because this is gonna be a peak Sukuna there that he'd be fighting as well, like a 120% amped.
Oh, if he fights a 120% amp Sukuna on any level, you will never hear the end of it from Hakari fans.
Yep, Hakari fans trying to push that to the extreme.
Yeah,
and the Kashimo fans
it'll
take
be
it.
like the one statement of, oh, when he gets on a roll, he's stronger than me, but like astronomically worse.
Nah, the narrator. It's like it's gonna start out right with the narrator to say just like a flashback of, oh, when he's on a roll, he's stronger than me,
Yeah.
and then he just starts popping off.
The crazy thing is, they would be doing a million times better with Toto right now. Toto's technique is honestly incredible, incredibly useful.
Win.
The Maki slander is crazy. Like, losing to Sukuna is not an anti-feat. No, it's definitely not. Everyone loses to Sukuna. So far, Sukuna has taken, what, 0 Ls?
Yeah. No, he took. Technically, he took like how Sukuna versus Gojo in the first fight.
Okay,
he technically-
one finger Sukuna took an L.
There's also another one I can think of technically, but it's a weird argument.
Which one?
When Sukuna fought Megumi the first time, Yuji technically beat him because he took back control of the body.
Oh, I mean, I guess it's more like... Yeah. I guess we're
Yeah.
talking about, like, L's in terms of, like, I didn't get exactly what I want, but I guess I was talking more so, like, full combat.
Oh, in full combat, yeah, no, he's never taken an out other than against Gojo in the first fight.
He's
a
not.
one finger.
Hakari is going to get bodied. I'm telling you, his winning remarks are major death flags. Is that what you think, China Doll? Okay.
If Hakari doesn't do if Hakari literally lands
Poor-
one punch, people are taking it to the moon and back. That's all
Poor
I'm saying.
Hakari. Yeah, if either Hakari dies or he's stronger than Yuta, you will never hear the end of it from either side.
Yep.
I know
The
Kaio.
wars will just
I see
continue.
Kaio posting about this all the time on Twitter.
Oh yeah, same here. Kaio wants Hakari to die to Urame.
Dude, Hakari, like, Kaio, the greatest switch up in history to glaze for Yuta.
Yeah. Man swapped completely over to Yuta.
For this read chapter 251, he cleans his head. Oh, he did kind of slap him in the face, didn't he? Even then, though, he grabbed him for a second and Yuta got knocked back. Yeah, the cleave isn't instantaneous. He didn't get the full contact. I mean, he got the full contact, but we've seen multiple times now. Cleave takes a second to go off. He was also on the full RCT output there. I mean, I guess that would be the output thing, but still, we still see that cleave can be interrupted.
100%.
I think that's fair. I mean, like, there's only so much you can go off of in, like, the one instance where, like, his output is low. How low? They never tell us. They just say it's low.
Yep. Well, we know it's lower than half because it should be lower than half if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Should be. Do they say that? It's lower than half?
I think like there was something in there that made that like I don't remember what the exact statement was. I'll have to reread it. I'll read it later.
Hakari isn't dying. Bet my life. I don't know if I
Well.
bet my life on that one.
Yeah.
Can you guys check Twitter for a scaling question? I'll check there, Tiberius. Thank you for
I know you don't want to. I just checked it.
Well, okay. Okay. No, I will not, Tiberius. Oh my god, it's a Zoro Kusakabe.
Yep.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. The strongest sorcerer in history versus the strongest sorcerer available.
Yeah,
Bruh.
that is Jujutsu Kaisen right now. The strongest sorcerer in history versus the strongest sorcerer available. Indeed. Unfortunately for everybody, getting bodied just seems to be the way it goes for you if you fight Sukuna. And until we get to Yuji, I don't really know what else they're going to do. It does kind of start to feel like Hold on. It's low enough that Yuta admitted that a full output dismantle would have killed him and Yuji before they could RCT it. Yeah, but Sukuna's also holding back, which they've said multiple times now, so who the hell knows?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I don't know where... Like, we've had so many instances of them telling us that Sukuna is just hanging out and could body people whenever he wants at this point.
Yeah.
He hasn't even revealed his technique. He hasn't even used a maximum output in the entire fight. Not against Gojo. Not against Yuji. I'm just going to wait till the end of the fight before I say where he was at. It'll probably make a lot more sense once we look
100%.
back and be like, okay, he could have done this. Okay, he couldn't have done this. I'm not going to go off of like Yuta's and Yuji's statements right now, just saying like, oh, he's low output, because I don't really care to scale Sukuna down in the first place.
I'm hoping Yuji pops off of a domain.
I don't know what kind of domain expansion he'd get.
Neither do I. But I have hopes.
But if Cleave is tied to output, I mean, that makes sense. That also explains why Yuta couldn't kill Sukuna with it, because output is too low.
We also know it has a full power type thing, because Sukuna like amped Cleave to full power against Ryu.
That's true. I kind of let him with a dismantle first, though.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, that was obnoxiously tanky.
Yeah.
We definitely going to see Sukuna versus the merger. I swear to God, if Sukuna has a change of heart and he's like, oh, okay, I will save you all from the merger creature, I'm going to lose it.
Same. Like, I don't think they're going to, but...
Him changing his ideology doesn't have to be as ridiculous as I'm gonna go fight the merger creature and save all of you.
Yeah.
Sukuna's Black Flash was so nasty, they had to split it into 3 panels. Yeah, luckily for Maki, she got launched off a rooftop, so he didn't hit her with like 3 more.
Yep. Maki has a chance of living.
Plank asks, if Kenny comes back, would you prefer him to be in a useless body, Sukuna's old body, or camo clan head? Sukuna's old body, didn't they eat that? Isn't that gone?
Yeah, Sukuna ate that.
Yeah, isn't that is Sukuna at this point? The camo clan head, a useless body. I mean, could any body be more useless than like the decapitated Geto?
Damn.
The bum, the monkey hating bum.
The monkey hating bum, bruh.
That's what he is. The domainless monkey hating bum.
Special grade without a domain looking.
I remember back in the day, I used to see things like Geto could kill Kashimo, dude. I'm like, yeah.
Nah.
Totally.
Nah. Geto was so overrated.
Every single curse spirit that Kenjaku had, the guy who collected curse spirits in other countries, got bodied by Yuta. Every single one. Yeah. Except for like the truck, the one that got truck cunned.
Yeah.
The one that got truck cunned and the one that Yuki footballed.
Yep.
Shout out to Grasshopper Curse. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the goated Grasshopper. Sure.
Kusakabe over Geto. Preach. Geto and his ass plan, his ass ideology. Honestly, Geto's just the worst,
is going
dude.
to just deflect each like curse with relative
Dude,
ease.
some of the Geto fans, I've seen some shit. I've seen people be like, "You don't understand. This man has been forced to eat curse spirits for years. He was a broken man. It sent him over the edge." And then he
what do you mean forced?
Rico
You did it
dead.
yourself.
Like, how many people have gone through hard things and their idea wasn't, let's kill everybody? That's like, let's do it. Let's do a bad thing, guys. Let's do a removal. Yeah. Geto's just made of weaker stuff than Gojo, mentally and physically. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. Geto he's bad.
Geto has a great English voice actor, though. I'll give him that.
Oh, 100%.
It's got that suave.
Geto got power cliffed so bad. There are some people who don't believe power cliff is a thing in Jujutsu Kaisen, but it's actually kind of ridiculous that when you look at it, like, and just read it to see how ridiculous of a power cliff there actually is.
Let's see. Quirkless check. Chapter 250. Sukuna stated he'd need to use Cleave instead of Dismantle to kill Yuta and Yuji because of lower curse energy output from Gojo. Let's see.
What? Okay, I'll read Jip.
I am rereading that.
There are people who are just like, Kenjaku is still stronger than Yuta. Oh boy, you started a Kenjaku versus Yuta war quirkless.
Kenjaku is still stronger than Yuta? I mean,
Yes.
why do we care? I don't really care about the brain. If people want to say Kenjaku is stronger than Yuta, they're free to do so.
Yep. Hey, give Geto 100 years, so he'll show his potential, bruh. Someone just said that in chat.
I'm reading this. I'm just gonna read through this real quick. Cover for me.
Alright, bet. Stand proud, Kusakabe. You're the strongest one available. You see, that's kind of more of a compliment than you might think, because there's someone out there who exists that fought Gojo for 13 minutes, Miguel, and that means Kusakabe is stronger than him. So, Kusakabe then Miguel in terms of ranking. Good job. You're amping Kusakabe. You're amping the GOAT.
All Sukuna said here is that if he doesn't make direct contact for cleave, he's not going to leave a fatal wound, just like him, which is Ryu. So Dismantle's not going to kill them. That's what he thinks.
Yeah. So it's like output is lower to the point where he can't one-shot them, but like that's
That's fair.
Yeah.
At least not one-shot them with Dismantle. I mean, power cliffing is happening. It's just not as prevalent as other shonen. Yeah, because Jujutsu Kaisen is better than most shonen.
Yep. I mean, like, yeah,
I'll
there
go
is a
that
power
far to
cliff.
say, but like Jujutsu Kaisen, the reason why people feel, well, I shouldn't say the only reason, but a huge reason why people feel like things can be ass pulls or like new techniques are so crazy in Jujutsu Kaisen is because the characters have such a set power level. Like they have such a set idea of what their power set is, because a curse technique, even the characters in the universe are like, oh, you only really get one. And when a character doesn't have just one, they can copy or they can do something else. It is treated as an anomaly by the characters in the story and the fan base.
Yeah.
JJK over Hunter x Hunter, I said it, agreed.
100%.
I would definitely put JJK over Hunter x Hunter, definitely for me. You know, and everyone can get different things out of a story. Maybe you like some characters more. But as far as like, I think the writing's pretty equivalent.
The writing is like they're somehow equal yet extremely different, because like Hunter x Hunter's a different story entirely from like JJK. But I still like both of them a lot.
Though I'm very schlock resistant. I can read a lot of bad shit and not really care. Like some people like got real pissed. Like they get really pissed at manga. I remember when my friend was a kid. My friend and I were kids. We were hanging out at his house and we were reading like a Naruto manga. And his dad came in the room and he's like, "I'm so proud of you guys for reading books." And then he opened it up. He's like, "Fuck, it's a picture book." Oh, God damn it! Like,
bruh.
It's like, damn it! I thought you guys were reading real shit. Like, yeah, I don't really care about. I don't really care about nonsense in my shonen usually. Like I'm not reading shonen for the next of Mice and Men.
Yeah.
That's not to say it can't be good. Occasionally you do have those shonen. Like I think Jujutsu Kaisen is above average in character and like a lot of the character writing and some of the themes it goes into and displaying the ideas that Gege Akutami wants to say. And I also think that, you know, just because your story is made for like 12 to 18-year-olds doesn't mean you can't go into deeper themes. I think it's really dismissive to say that like, oh, it's shonen, it's for kids, so there's nothing to be gained. That's like saying, the Justice League animated series or Batman the animated series are trash because their target demographic wasn't a Harvard English class.
JJK and like a lot of other mangas just have some of the darkest themes that I think people like don't really think about too much until they actually sit down and think like, oh, this is actually really, really dark. Like, let's just talk like the Zenin clan, for example. You don't even have to like that's all you need to say, the Zenin clan.
If I had $1 for every time Sukuna held back, I'd be richer than Mei. Yeah, I really hope they explain why they keep saying this. Like it's clearly set up at this point. And if it wasn't set up by Gojo, it was definitely set up when they had an entire end page that's like, he has yet to go all out. Like, I mean, if you still think this guy's going all out at this point, I don't know what to tell you. I don't like. You're free to believe it, but I do feel some of the people are a little intimidated to get into JJK because the fandom can be a little power scaly, And I understand that power
Understandably.
scaling is a huge part of the anime community in shonen, for battle manga. It's a little different when you start delving into, like, I think most of the videos you'll see on things like Berserk or some of the other series, like a lot of the sign-in are more character breakdowns, but you still get that for Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah. Like, power scaling is somewhat, like, it's not, like, the main thing, but, like, it is very important up there.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. I do think people get a little too pressed about it sometimes. It's far from the most important
Yuta
thing.
Wars.
Yeah, the Yuta Wars.
Somehow he's the most debated character in all. Like, I can think of popular debates for a bunch of other JJK characters, like Mahito versus Jogo and Gojo versus Sukuna. There are, like, 4 popular Yuta debates that I can think of off the top of my head, unlike everyone else.
Was the cut on Sukuna's finger from his first time in Megumi ever explained? I assume that was just from, like, he got a nick at some point from Maki's blade. I know we didn't really see him get cut, but she had an unsheathed blade, like, on her
That makes a
hip.
lot of sense.
Like, if you got, like, a finger nick, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Oh, right, that reminds me of something. You know how, like, the Soul Split Katana and Sukuna caught the Soul Split Katana in the chapter, right?
Yeah, excuse me, repeat that? Sorry.
You know how Sukuna caught the Soul Split Katana in the chapter
Yes.
between his 2 hands? I've recently heard a theory on how this could be, like, explained, because it's only the tip of the Soul Split Katana that negates durability and not the full blade itself. So because, like, he learned how to avoid that and learned, like, the tip could negate durability from that first fight, he caught it.
Yeah, I don't know what people are on. You can catch a blade. It's not the same
Yeah.
as cutting somebody. And he also has the
100%.
entire thing of, like, okay, I can use my chainsaw hands to grab on a katana. It's like, if you're not cutting somebody, like, I don't know, durability neg, do we really think the durability neg is so intense that you can't even catch this thing? You can't even touch it? Your finger will just get cut
Yeah.
off? How does Maki even, like, pull it? Like, how does she clean this thing? Is she just cut through her cloth upon contact?
Yeah. I have no idea. Like, it's likely not just... It's probably not just the blade. Like, it's just the tip of the blade itself and not, like, the full
Yeah, he caught it
blade.
like Yuta. Like, yeah, exactly. Like, we already know he can touch katanas without touching katanas.
Yeah.
There's, like, 4 levels of, okay, he should be able to do this.
Bruh.
I don't know where the durability negation comes from. It should be cutting through your soul, as in, like, you can't just use your reinforcement. It cuts the soul, kind of like how Mahito goes straight for your soul.
It's because in the Naoya fight, like, Cursed Naoya fight, there is a statement that says it cuts through everything by directly cutting the soul.
Yeah. So your reinforcement shouldn't work. It has to be you're getting chopped. You're getting chopped in the soul. Which sounds pretty bad. But, like,
Agreed.
I mean, if you're not getting chopped and you're just catching the blade, or even worse, using the chainsaw hands, it should be fine.
Yeah.
Who do you think would win? Go versus Joe. One had the 6 eyes, the other has the 6.
Bruh.
Brother. Diabolical.
It's straight up crazy.
Exactly. I don't think Soul Split just disintegrates all matter. No, I don't know why people think that. I know,
Yeah.
like, oh, it's one statement. It's one statement from a series that has... people really need to look up what an unreliable narrator is. Sometimes I feel. Like, just because a narrator says something in a story isn't inherently true. There are some, like, they can be wrong. I don't think they're usually wrong to Jujutsu Kaisen, to be fair. And, like, I don't want to come off as like, like, you guys should learn to read. It's, it does feel like sometimes, unreliable narrators are just an obnoxious thing in storytelling, which come up way more than they should, to be honest.
Yep. To add on to that, like, back when Sukuna was fighting Mahoraga in Shibuya, the narrator didn't actually fully know how Mahoraga's adaptation works. Like, the narrator gave options for how it could function, and wasn't actually fully certain until
Blocked it
Sukuna
with his
found out.
forearm. I mean, if he can put his slashes around his hands.
Yeah, I don't see
I mean,
why
granted,
he
they
couldn't.
kind of come from his hands.
True. Actually, I think we see, like, later on they can come from his feet when he's fighting against Higuruma.
I mean, powers get retconned in the stories all the time.
Yeah.
And I think it's only a big deal because people jump on one statement that Gege sometimes puts as like an offhand statement. I mean, if you really want to find out, I'm sure someone could talk to Gege Akatame and ask them, who's faster, this character or this character? Granted, I don't know if Gege Akutami ever even answers power scaling questions usually. Or if they do, it's more like vague. Because Gege Akutami's #1 priority is not to like appease a bunch of power scalers.
Yeah, like Gege just trying to sound like Gege's trying to make things just sound cool. Why do you think literally every single power skiller just ignores the entire Black Flash being a 2.5 exponent statement from the narrator? Because no one takes it seriously. The series doesn't.
What did the narrator do to you? The narrator lied to me. The narrator lied to me in so many different stories. As far as I'm concerned, every narrator is the same. They're all just one collective narrator. That just
what narrator hurt you?
They're all. Yeah, what narrator hurt you? All of them, every single one. But that's another thing that, like, yeah, maybe the durability neg was retconned, or maybe it wasn't as all-encompassing as Gege Akutami stated it would be.
Maybe Gege just forgot.
But on the flip side, guys, if the narrator was wrong about that or lied about that, they could also be lying about Maki, about like the dismantle considering objects as inanimate. So if the Malevolent Shrine pops out, you never know.
Bruh.
Yeah,
Maki already got Black Flash. She doesn't need to deal with the domains too.
Yeah, maybe she can walk through an MS. Because that's been the big thing, is that people say, oh, the Malevolent Shrine is going to hit her because it can target inanimate objects.
Yeah.
But,
Kirk was about to Black Flash a narrator.
The narrator hive mind. Yep, the narrator hive mind.
Is your narrator just the equivalent of my hate for Panda now?
The narrator, dude. It's lied to me too many times. Though I would say the narrator lies, but it definitely embellishes.
That is true. The narrator hypes things up more than they actually
are. It gasses things so hard, and then people jump on the narrator statements so much, and then when it doesn't like meet up to the expectation, they're like, "This is some bullshit."
Yeah. Oh god, Mach 3 Maki.
We
coming
debunking
back.
the Mach 3 Maki with this one. You heard it here, guys. Unreliable narrator in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Look, I'm just saying, the narrator doesn't know how Mahoraga's adaptation works, so it shouldn't know how fast Mach is going.
This is only a problem for power scaling. Like nowhere else, like nobody else is gonna sit there and be like, the Mach 3 statement, and be like, write that down. We're gonna put this in 95 videos, guys. We're never gonna shut up about this.
Yeah.
Every time you say MS, I think of Mangekyo Sharingan. Mangekyo Sharingan would cook here.
Uh-huh.
Hey, can you read my question? Somebody, let's take a look here.
They said, did you see the theory that Yuji got damage from Maki stabbing Sukuna as well because of their souls, and that's why he couldn't RCT correctly?
That would be an interesting idea.
Yeah.
I feel like Yuji might have an easier time RCTing the soul than most people.
Yeah.
The narrator being wrong is ultra sus writing. How are you going to make your omniscient voice for the story be inaccurate? Well, it's a real thing. It is a real thing. There's even a term for it, which is the unreliable narrator.
Usually when they have an unreliable narrator, it usually ends up with the narrator being the main villain in the end.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't happen often, to be fair. Like, it's not the first thing I jump on. Mach 3 doesn't even make sense in the context. It was used, narrator just yapping. Well, narrator's entire job is to yap. They never even show up in the story, usually.
Yep. That's all they exist to do. Yep.
Waiting for Sukuna to call Yuta Jogo level.
Bruh.
Do you think Maki would get speed blitzed by Jogo, considering Sukuna is nerfed not only by curse energy output / half reserves, but also a slashed heart? He should be around 7 to 8 fingers of strength / speed. Well, it depends on where his reinforcement is at, because how much cursed energy does Sukuna need to top off his reinforcement? We have no idea.
Also, I do want to say, Sukuna ridiculous. Like, Sukuna is more than, 7 to 8 fingers stronger than Jogo. Because, Jogo knew there was going to be a strength difference between them, but, Jogo was I didn't expect it to be this much. So, Jogo's probably not at 7 to 8 fingers even. He's probably closer to 4.
She's also dodging dismantles.
Yeah, and the World Slash.
I don't know if the World Slash is faster. I think just nobody's able to see them easily.
True.
8-finger Sukuna, far greater than Jogo. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Jogo was wild.
Jogo. Caught a stream, great analysis and episode breakdown as usual, dude. Hey, thanks DJ Millas. You guys should check out DJ Millas. Excellent.
Check him out.
He makes Jujutsu Kaisen content, and he also makes the good old Chainsaw Man content. Actually, I think he makes more Chainsaw Man content these days. Great series, too. I'll get back on that.
Go back to
and thanks
Chainsaw Man.
Thanks for the support, man, as always. Waiting for Yuna to industrialize. Oh, I always have my thing covered by my emotes here.
Black Rope.
Black Rope manufacturing Japan.
Bruh.
Can you imagine?
I mean,
The Black
that'd
Rope.
be a good way to make money.
Jujutsu Kaisen loves just putting in these random ass cursed objects that are OP and just removing them.
Yeah.
Peak Toji was comparable to Three Finger Sukuna speed. Just saying. I mean, what? Based on one Megumi statement of like, guy is fast.
Yeah.
How fast is 3 Finger Sukuna compared to 15 Finger Sukuna compared to 20 Finger Sukuna? How much cursed energy output does Sukuna need to top off? Is it 10 fingers? Is he putting in half his cursed energy at 10 fingers and then getting what, like 95% back every time he reinforces? We don't know.
Yes. Yeah.
He could be at 3 fingers. He could be at his top speed for all we know.
Yep.
Because we have no idea where his reinforcement peaks out. Though I think there's some feats that go against that at 3 fingers. But even then, the whole, he's comparable. Sorry.
You could just argue that Sukuna was nerfed because he didn't have his heart back then, too.
12 fingers, more speed. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Finger scaling in Jujutsu Kaisen is whack. I hate it, honestly, and it also doesn't even add anything to the conversation usually. And it's only mentioned a few times as like in comparison to characters. Like, oh, he might have beaten me back then. Oh, he might be as fast as Sukuna was. And everyone's like, okay, so Toji's equal to 3 fingers. But then again, this is Megumi, who's like everyone's fast for Megumi because he's a bum. Like,
Bruh.
Christian Martinez asked, do you think Sukuna's defeat comes from sealing him or splitting his soul again? I thought that might be lame, but he seems too strong at this point. I can't see him losing now. Black Box next, it's over. I think beating Sukuna conventionally right now is just not happening.
Agreed.
Like, I just don't think they're going to beat him conventionally. I think there's a point.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a point to trying to beat him conventionally now, unless they all come back. But they have the whole setup of Megumi's soul is there to wake up.
Yep.
Christian, and thank you for the support, Christian. The finger's way of power scaling has fingered everyone's brain. Yeah, the finger scaling in Jujutsu Kaisen, I have seen people get so heated over this when it's like, who cares?
What does it do?
Like, what does it really do for us? Like, we kind of get maybe something out of Toji. That's about it.
And maybe
and
something
Jogo.
out of Mahoraga.
Jogo, Mahoraga, and Toji.
Yep. Because, like, Yuta scaling to 15 fingers of Sukuna was immediately debunked because someone he fought got one-shot by that.
Any thoughts on how Yuta and the gang cheated? My thoughts on this, I really hope it's not time travel. I'm just going to put that out there right now. I swear to God, if it's some, like, hyperbolic time chamber bullshit, I'm going to be a little disappointed. I hope it's binding vows, but even then, I don't know if there will be a satisfying answer. We have this whole bit of Ui is popping in to go and fight Sukuna, or not fight Sukuna, excuse me, to grab these bodies and take them back to an end we don't know. We don't know what they did in the past month. The past month being hidden, the plan that Gojo made being hidden. These are major plot points. These are some of the last plot points that need to be paid off. I'm not sure if you can actually have the whole "we cheated" line pay off in a satisfying way. You'd be pretty hard pressed to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be real.
Like, the "we cheated" line would need to justify how they can get this strong, which is gonna be hard.
It's gonna be rough. I think Gege Akatame is talented enough to do it if they like lock in.
I got faith in
It's gonna be rough though.
I have faith in that one-eyed rat cat bastard.
It might be a cute little nod to Dragon Ball. Yeah. I just hope it's not like dead ass time travel. I know that
Same.
I've seen this come up a couple times. I think it was Diavolo who first brought it up to me. Was that like, oh, Gojo has spatial manipulation. What if he like did like temporary? He figured out some way to do very, very pseudo time travel, like short range time travel. Like, please no, please
No.
anything but this, man.
Yeah. No. Never.
I thought cheating Yuta meant they were doping, since Yuta and Yuji both absorb cursed objects. Well, for Yuji, he's definitely been eating stuff. Maybe they all did eat cursed objects. That'd be fucking crazy, though.
If it just gets revealed that Yuji ate the prison realm.
I've seen a lot of theories about this, from the prison realm to binding vows. No matter what it is, so far I haven't seen one that I'm like, that one locks in for me.
Yeah.
So we got Sumo Guy. If they all got strong of a Sumo Guy, I don't know if that's any better or worse than the prison realm, to be honest. They cheated with Yuji's soul swap to have someone RCT.
I don't know how Yuji's soul swap would make.
Hold on, I kind of like this. They cheated with Yuji's soul swap to have someone RCT till the body builds muscle memory. I mean, I guess you just train day and night by RCTing your body back.
True.
Yuta, we're just high, guys. Yep. They're just high. How will Megumi learning about his father change his mindset or outlook on life? It's been mentioned multiple times. I'm not sure if he would really care. I think he would. I think a big thing for Megumi's character is that he has felt put down by everybody in his life. He feels like his dad doesn't give a shit about him, and he pretty much has an inferiority complex, which is the craziest thing to me. Like, he really feels like, oh, Yuji's better at this than me. Oh, all these other people are better than me. I should just die. I'm unwanted, I think, is the biggest thing. And I feel like he's like that. He's like Sukuna in that regard, where he's like, I'm an unwanted child. So I think finding out his dad did love him, and his dad did care, it would do a lot for his mental state. I do want to talk more about Megumi, because Megumi gets a lot of hate from people, but I just feel like Megumi's a misunderstood character in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
He'll care, but he'll also be like, my dad
Wait,
was a
TCB
piece of
translations
shit.
are out.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, let's go. I know what I'm doing after this.
Kusakabe, though. Do we think... Yeah, I'm just going to put this in the chat, even though I already know what the answer is from most people. Will Kusakabe stand a chance? If I get a 10% yes on this, I'll be satisfied. To be fair, Megumi is inferior. I mean, he's inferior because his mindset... excuse me.
Yeah, his mindset...
Yeah, his mindset is awful. And Gojo says as much, and Sukuna says as much. They're both like, what a waste of talent. Well, I bet that's the line of Sukuna. But it's true. Megumi is blessed with a god-tier technique. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. Yeah, that's basically Megumi. Yeah. I don't like emo characters. I don't even think Megumi's necessarily emo. I do think they kind of push into it a little bit sometimes. With the, like, oh, he drinks black coffee. But, like, I drink black coffee.
Corkless, you're emo.
No, I drink so much black coffee. You have no idea. I drink with a straw, too. I'm a weird guy. What can I say? That's why I relate to Kusakabe, because Kusakabe is kind of a pussy, and like so am I. So when he doesn't want to fight Sukuna, I'm like, that's me.
I mean, who would want to fight Sukuna? This is Sukuna we're talking about.
Yeah, Kusakabe got peer pressure into fighting Sukuna. Kusakabe would go farther than me. I would just leave.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm already here. I guess I kind of like have to fight him, right?
Yeah.
Will Yuji get an ass pull? I see this a lot. People say Yuji's going to have to get an ass pull. Yuji's like the only character that has a real potential because he was built by Kenjaku. Not everybody is the test tube baby of the 1,000-year-old machination man.
Agreed. Like, what? Yuji has been noted to have, like, potential and expectations from the two smartest characters in JJK of Gojo and Kenjaku. I don't know why people are expecting Yuji to not do shit.
Yeah. Like, ass pull gets thrown around a lot recently. And I don't want to say, like, this is something I want to talk about in the fandom in general. I don't want to be dismissive of legitimate criticism, because if you don't like Gojo's death, that is fine. You know, there are things I don't think are perfect in Jujutsu Kaisen. And there are fans who will push away all criticism and act like this is all peak, when it's not. You know, nothing is ever 24/7 peak.
He has flaws.
But from the time I started YouTube to the time of now, it does feel like there's more of a vitriol, and not even like legitimate sometimes. Like, it feels like people just want to hate on certain things, and even things people were excited to see. I saw a comment recently that somebody said, where they said, why are people getting so upset about the curse technique of Sukuna that we've wanted to see for actual years? And I kind of agree that years ago, we've been talking about the black box for years in this community. And suddenly it's coming, and a lot of people are pissed. I'm like, what happened to the excitement of finding new abilities? Like, that was the whole thing in JJK. It was so fun. And I feel like the conversation in Jujutsu Kaisen, even around Gojo and Sukuna a year ago, was just more friendly. I think that's the best way I could put it.
Yeah.
And Adrian, for $20, thank you so much, man, says, Kusakabe, how about we have a nice long chat, Sukuna? How could we possibly have to talk? What could we possibly have to talk about? How do you eat humans? Finally, a good question. First, you salt the hell out of it. And then he just dips, yeah. Yeah, I was just trying to talk to Sukuna, dude. I would just prostrate myself before Sukuna and be like, please don't kill me.
No,
I will cook you something.
You'll cook him something.
I will cook you something. I will go. I'll get a PhD. I will get a PhD at a culinary institute, and I will get back to you, and I will cook you the best meal, Sukuna. Just spare me now.
Yeah.
Because Sukuna wasn't so broken and nonsensical before. Sukuna was always this broken.
Sukuna was always this broken. We're just now getting an idea of how broken he was.
He was always presented as broken.
The entire point of the Culling Games, all of it, was literally just to hype Sukuna up as this monster. Like, read the Culling Games and realize how much of it really existed just to hype up Sukuna.
And it's not even just about Sukuna anymore. It's like people get vitriolic about it. It's these Sukuna fans too, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, the Sukuna fans are going off, dude. They were like, they're like getting a caffeine injection of Sukuna copium, not copium, but what do they call it? Dopamine, yeah. An IV injection of Sukuna.
pure
Sukuna, dude.
Bruh.
They're eating all those gummy fingers you can buy of Sukuna.
The yapping.
They got a lifetime supply.
Yeah.
A yapping chapter is coming. I hope a yapping chapter is coming. I like the yapping chapters the most, personally. How do I master the emotionless tone like you? Be dead inside. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Bruh.
The emotionless tone. Maybe it's just how I talk.
Wait, did he just scream, I am a god? Bruh.
Takaba is coming back to save the day.
I hate that. Takaba is technically the one way that it wouldn't be a plot hole. Or actually, I shouldn't be saying one way it wouldn't be a plot hole, but like, there's nothing that anyone could do about it if Takaba does anything. Because he's Takaba. The funny man.
Maki turned into applesauce.
Bruh.
That's it, yeah. How do we feel about the, the Black Flash was coming. We all knew it was coming. 50% of the majority of people think Kusakabe has a chance. Kirkless, you okay, bro? Yeah, we're fine, Electro. We're just joking here.
Yeah.
We're joking here.
Also, now that I'm looking, I think Maki might actually be turned to applesauce. Because now we have like a clearer image of it. Oh boy.
Ironically, Takaba is the only one that can take the world cleave. Yes, pretty much. I know Kaio thinks he can take it. Like, I don't agree with him on that at all, though.
I think they could. Purely because because death is not funny. That's
Never felt angry at fans since I started anime. Thank you for the membership, Holofy Tensa Zangetsu. Legendary commenter on my channel. One of my first real supporters. I remember all of you. At least I try to. I remember some guy once asked me, like, dude, you don't even read your comments. And I'm like, yes, I do. That's my response to him. Kusakabe has a chance of not dying. That's it. Yeah, that's the realist take. Panda shouldn't exist. Thank you, Eternal Flame, for your continued support.
I just remembered I had a membership chat message, so I was like, you know what? Let's use it for the only good purpose.
The only good purpose. Does Monster Garo stand a chance against Sukuna? I think Monster Garo just bodies him.
Monster Garo bodies the verse. It's not fair.
Yeah, Monster Garo is Monster Garo. Being anywhere close to where Saitama was at that point in time, is insane. We're talking about... I guess he wasn't close to Saitama yet until he went Cosmic Garo.
Elite Panda. As it should be.
Quirkless, can you in Eternal Flame give some predictions on the next few chapters or what you would like to see? That is an excellent point. That is the purpose of the spoiler talk.
Yeah.
But it always evolves into power scaling, doesn't it?
Yep, as it should be, because we're JJK YouTubers. I think Yuji is about to have a 1v1 against Sukuna, and then he's going to die, and then awaken.
It's coming. My most important part is I think Sukuna has to lose. I know some people think he's going to win. I think he might win the battle, but he's going to lose the war.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Sukuna
I don't
versus...
see Sukuna living for this series.
No way. Sukuna's going to fight the merger creature. I think that's being set up. Under what circumstances is the real question. And the more curious thing to me is that I do think they are going to wake up Megumi. I think it's the biggest thing they have to do here, is that Yuji is on the hunt to free Megumi. Sukuna is utterly convinced that like Megumi is just bummed out. He's gone. He's like, oh, you're never going to free this guy.
Yeah.
And now one fan base after another is getting black flashed and cleaved in half. That we are getting to the point where it's pretty much just Yuji up right now and Hakari.
Choso's also up.
Which JJK YouTubers do you think have the hardest thumbnail? Mine is between Zonin and Kai Overease. Kai Overease. Kai Overease or Zonin or Kai Overease. I'll say Kai Overease because I've helped him make his thumbnails before, so I can take credit.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll take credit for that one though.
Bruh.
Speaking of Kaio, I have a stream with him coming up next week. Mainly because I accidentally gave him the wrong date, and I said it was going to be this week, and I didn't want to look like a dipshit, so I just said, yeah, I totally meant next week.
Bruh.
Real question is, where is Miguel? In Africa, hopefully forever, so he doesn't get chopped in half.
Just like Toto, he's so lucky to not be in the series. Please keep him out. You guys don't want them to come back, because if they come back, they die. You don't want more blood.
Where is Rika? With Yuta crying. With Yuta, with you and Ta.
Trying to hold you and Tut together, you know.
Yeah, trying to like stitch them up together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard to tell if he got chopped in half. It looks like he did, but the napkin drawing makes it really difficult to make out. That's what it looks like. It looks like a scribble. Like Gege Akatame, this chapter is like on fire, and then they were but it was at the price of the scribble drawing last chapter.
No, these people want more blood.
What do they want?
They want more blood. They want more characters to die.
Yeah. Fake Weave the best. Fake Weave does have great thumbnails.
Yeah.
Fake Weave is also the god king of JJK YouTubers. As it should be, dude. I want to see him just dominate. I mean, he kind of already is, but... I want to see him dominate anime YouTube because he's like the nicest guy. And he has a real passion for it, which is kind of rare in any space.
I want him to be the most popular.
Yeah, I want to give 10 years from now, I want Fake Weave to be like the #1 anime YouTuber.
He deserves it.
Yuta looked really rough, at least. Yeah, rough is putting it lightly. Getting carted off by Ui Ui. Are you the strongest because you're the last one left, or are you the last one left because you're the strongest? Crippling Sukuna to Kusakabe in the next chapter. Yeah.
Damn. Sukuna has not Kusakabe has a chance.
Let's be honest, Hakari ain't doing anything to Sukuna. But if he does, you're never going to hear the end of it.
Yeah.
Fake Weeb made videos so hard his computer couldn't handle. Yeah, he did. I did see that video.
Yeah. Also, they mentioned Usami in like the TCB translation too. Who do you guys think Usami is?
Usami?
Yeah, Usami.
I'm sorry, I totally zoned out. Repeat
When
that.
Kusakabe, they were asking who like the strongest grade 1 sorcerer is, they said Yusa. Like Kusakabe said,
Yeah.
Someone other than me or Usami.
Usami.
Yeah.
Someone who we're never gonna see probably.
Yeah.
When they talk about, maybe it's talk like a grade 1 house guy, like a house.
Oh, I
clan
think
guy.
like
Collab with Alon Z. He had some great theories. So it's funny. I was just thinking about this because Alon Z. I was as this chapter came out. I was he got the idea in my head that Kusakabe is dressed just like the Doctor from 10 years ago. It's true. It's so true.
yeah.
He's got that Doctor Who fit.
Man, it's a Dr. Fu fit.
Yeah, there are a lot of JJK YouTubers. For sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes you do have to be like... When I started, it was, like, pretty much just... I mean, I started a little later than most, but the big ones are still the big ones, with, like, Broken Ronin and No Operator.
Yeah.
I think 6 was up and coming in the JJK space more than Naruto as time went on. Even though he roasted my video on stream with Jaded, as Jaded, like, desperately defended me at all costs from, like, one of my first videos, which is pretty funny. But
Yeah. I
Jaded,
remember watching
Jaded was being so nice. He was like, dude, yo, we'll give a break. So it was like 9 months ago. I'm like, no, dude, just cook it. It was ass. Like, I just started. It's fine. I want you to dominate anime YouTube and me. Oh, God, wavy. I get Guy Sensei vibes from Takaba. Takaba gives me, Takaba gives me, what are the vibes? What kind of vibe does Takaba give you playing? Let me get my thoughts together. Cover for me.
Takaba gives me the thoughts of... You see, you know what? Takaba gives me Deadpool vibes, but Deadpool if he was a good guy. Or not good guy. Deadpool if he was even more into the funny man vibes of him. Yeah. Deadpool is funny. Or Takaba's also funny, because he has the power of funny man and
Yeah, he
and
does have the
comedy.
power of funny man.
Funny man.
Takaba gives me like, if Jimmy Kimmel was funny. That's him.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dynamic Weeb and Blazekin. Yeah, Blazekin is awesome. Dynamic Weeb.
Blazekin's a goat.
Dynamic Weeb and I need to play more Helldivers, and I've always been a big fan of Dynamic Weeb. He's such a nice guy.
I played Lethal Company with him once. It was fun.
That's the thing. We were talking about this playing like the bullshit radar, where sometimes, you know, you come across creators that are just like straight after clout.
Yep.
And like it happens. It happens a lot more now than it used to, because when JJK is now now JJK is so popular. But usually you can tell, you know, if you have a good bullshit radar, you can tell if people are legitimate. All I really ask for is genuine people. I'll collab with anybody.
Same.
That's it. Like, I don't really care if someone has too... Like, some people are... This YouTube shit goes so fast to their heads. It is absurd.
What the fuck is a reverie?
A reverie like the One Piece YouTubers do? You gotta explain that one to me, Yokai.
I don't know what that word means. Hold on, I'm gonna Google this real quick.
Well, it's a daydream.
A state of pleasantly lost in one's thoughts, a daydream.
Yeah, Dynamic Weave is awesome. Agreed, as I get to. Super
100%.
nice, super nice guy. One of the nicest guys I've ever met on the internet, to be honest. And like a true nerd. You know, this is one of those things where sometimes you get these people who are like, they're totally just jumping on a bandwagon, and then you find like that one person, like, you know they've been in the space for a long ass time. But yeah, this is their thing.
100%.
It's like when I heard that Henry Cavill plays Total War. I'm like, that is a fucking nerd game. Like, that's not Call of Duty, dude. That is a true geek game.
That's how you know he truly is into.
Like that's how you know that you're a
passion.
gamer. Granted, Total War is pretty popular, but still, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's not like the real nerd game.
The real nerd game. So next chapter, what do we think happens? I'm really hoping Kusakabe is not just going to have... It's not going to steal the page constantly. I hope we don't have another Takaba situation where it's like 3 chapters of it. Let's get on with it.
I mean, the difference is it's Kusakabe and not Takaba, so it'll be a little bit more
they did kind
enjoyable.
of just stuff a Takaba backstory into his fight, into like they explained his technique, gave him a backstory, and had him fall asleep all in the same fight, like a 5-chapter span.
Yeah. He's a chance.
The One Piece YouTubers have a huge 10-hour annual One Piece stream where they invite over 24 One Piece YouTubers to the stream. It's like Weave Avengers Endgame.
That sounds fun,
That
actually.
would be crazy. I know Zonin... We were going to do this. We were going to do this with Fake Weeb, No Operator, a few others. But he could not get his live stream working at all. Just rough, so we just made a video instead.
Understandable.
Total War, but it's Heian era, and the math objective is to kill Sukuna and dominate Japan. That would be crazy. I'm a big fan of Total War.
Yeah, that'd actually be a good way to do Total War.
The next chapter starts with a flashback or Sukuna hurt. Dude, if it starts with like Sukuna being like, what hit me? Who was that? It's just Kusakabe on the other side of him sheathing his katana.
New Shadow style, simple domain, Bato sword drawing.
Yeah, like when he bodied those Geto fan bums in Shibuya.
Bruh.
When he's like, we gotta get out of
When he
here, guys.
deflected Maximum Uzumaki, he's gonna show why he's him again.
He's the realest sorcerer. That's why I like him.
Same. Man's the GOAT.
He is the greatest. He's like the it's those upper mid characters. I know some people are the huge fans of like these super powerful, like, oh, they body everyone. But Kusakabe kind of being a bum, but like a worthy bum. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Like, he's strong. Like, he's strong as hell. It's just too bad we're in a world where we have to deal with Sukuna.
That's why I
right
love
now.
Kakashi.
Yeah.
Kakashi's one of those characters where, you know, he's not the strongest, but he's strong enough to be relevant.
Yeah. I don't think we're getting any foreign military involvement in JJK. Like, more than we already got.
Why is Maki wearing a cape? Worst idea for a close quarters fight. No, it's for drip. It's all about that drip.
A lot of these people are just... Maki just wants to look cool. Let's be real.
Like, let's be real. I don't know if I bring baggy pants to a fight like Gojo did.
I'm like 80% sure Kusakabe like had a talk with Maki, and Maki was like, "No, I'll deal. I'm fine."
Sukuna versus the Chaos Gods. Chaos Gods just body him.
Yeah, nah, Sukuna ain't all that.
I mean, he might be like Korn's chosen though. That's definitely it's definitely a possibility.
Bruh.
Yeah, I mean the god that wants you to kill everyone. I mean, Sukuna seems like a pretty good pick. Kusakabe is like Yuji. He has made the fundamentals. He has to master the fundamentals to complete.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I'm hoping to see here is that Kusakabe is going to have this giant moment where he's like, oh, you know, I may have no curse technique, but this is like the peak of that, or at least the peak of that for a not Sukuna.
The peak of what you can achieve without a curse technique. That's what Kusakabe has always been implied to be. Because, like, Mei directly says she's not seen a sorcerer get this strong since Kusakabe without a curse technique. That doesn't mean, like, in Shibuya, Yuji's not on par with Kusakabe. Just Kusakabe is the only one who's gotten that strong in the past. Which has always been nuts to me.
Yeah, agreed. Who doesn't love an underdog? Yeah, exactly. Who doesn't love an underdog? And I think that's why people love Yuji so much, is that Yuji, if you say anything bad about Yuji in the space, people will flip out. They will get pissed.
As they should.
They will get pissed. Like, occasionally you'll see, like, someone, like, a Gojo fan or a Sukuna fan goes, like, a little too hard, and they're like, yeah, fuck Yuji, and they just get ripped. They just get shit on.
Just the entire chat just turns.
Well, yeah, the entire chat just turns around and is like, what did you say?
What'd you say? Want to say that again?
Like, you can Gojo glaze and Sukuna glaze all you want, but you start shitting on Yuji, dude, and they will come for you.
Yeah.
So the silent majority just pops out.
Yep. They just all awaken.
I suppose I support the drip. Maki is super cool. I feel like the cape is more grabbable than baggy pants, but I totally get that. Yeah. The drip. It's all about the drip. You need to remember,
these guys... You need to remember, though, these guys are like 16 to 17. Of course they're trying to look cool.
Oh, dude, I looked like a bum when I was 16. I didn't care.
That is true.
I didn't
but
care.
If you're about to go fight, like, if you're about to go fight someone in the world that's basically watching you, of course you're going to want to look cool.
Yeah, it was cold as shit where I lived, so everyone just wore a hoodie. Nobody gave a fuck. Everyone's like, just get me inside, please.
Bruh.
Fundamentals are the foundation of greatness. I'm a multi-instrumentalist and felt I was above that fundamental. I was sorely mistaken once I had my hand and foot technique for drums.
Oh yeah, I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
Like back when I was doing martial arts, the reason why I did so well was purely because I focused and honed the fundamentals so well. That's why I love Kusakabe.
Yeah. It is all about the fundamentals in anything in life, really. It is the point where, like, you think you're above. When, like, people start to think they're above basic advice, is usually when things.
That's usually when they end up failing.
Exactly. I think Shoko and Urahime are mega healing in the wrestling guy's hyperbolic time chamber. Dude, that must be like the longest dance number for Urahime she's ever had.
Hope
she's
not
just
tired.
Sitting there like, oh my god, how much longer?
Yeah.
It turns out Kusakabe is the strongest sorcerer in the modern era. He just refuses the title special grade because he's just being him. Agreed. Kusakabe. Special grade.
The higher ups are bullies. They don't like things that are not standard. Like they would no matter how strong Kusakabe would get, they would never give him special grade because he doesn't have a curse technique.
Yeah, they were kind of losers. And they all got bodied.
Yeah.
Though they were kind of right about killing Yuji.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of those things.
I mean, to be fair, even if they did, I don't think killing Yuji would have changed anything, to be honest. I think they would have, it just would have delayed Kenjaku a little bit more.
I'm sure the higher-ups... Preventing Sukuna's reincarnation seems like the greatest possible thing they could have done. Killing a 15-finger Sukuna.
Oh, yeah.
That just seems like smart. Like, that's what they should have done.
No, they did try. Remember Yuta? They tried. When he got to 15
they did try. Totally justified.
Yeah.
Totally justified.
Like, I don't blame them.
I can't lie.
I just don't think it would have ended up doing anything in the long run.
Like, the greatest way to stop Kenjaku's plot and save the world would have been to kill Yuji at 15 fingers. And even Yuji knew that. Even he was like, oh, thank God.
People constantly forget this. When Yuji was fighting against Yuta, a part of him was straight up debating if he should let himself die. Which is why I find that so important. Like, Yuta directly says this, too. There was a part of Yuji that's debating him if it's okay for him to just let Yuta take him out. And that's why he couldn't go all out.
Yeah, he did want to just die to Angel after everything was said and done. Who can blame him?
Yeah, that too.
What was Gege thinking? Oh, they're cooking. Gege is always cooking.
Yeah.
Even when it gets a little, some people do wank Gege's writing so much. They're like, oh, it's peak, endlessly.
Nah, it's good, but it ain't all that good.
I love me them picture books. What can I say?
I don't know how to read. I'll be honest.
Yeah, dude, me neither. That's why I keep putting typos in my titles.
Same. As well as messing up and saying the word directly several times.
I love it when people ask me, "Oh, do you script your videos?" And I'm like, "Dude, there's no." I think
I have enough time to script videos.
Like, you think I'm that organized on this channel? Girl, you haven't been paying attention.
Yeah. I envy the people who can script videos because I can't do it for the life of me. I have tried.
Is there a chapter next week? There is not a chapter next week, Alex.
Yeah.
But on a side note, I will be making a chapter review, and some people have been asking me, why am I uploading these spoiler talks so late? Generally, it's because the actual chapter releases around this time, And I like actual chapter breakdowns a lot more than I like spoiler videos. I know that spoiler videos are way better for engagement and way better for views, but personally, I don't give a shit. I like talking about the actual chapter and the actual dialogue, because that's the part I like in JJK the most.
Same here.
Especially
Plus,
when
you will never get a full picture of just just the spoilers alone. But there are too many people who just read the spoilers alone.
Yeah, some people do just read the spoilers alone, and if you're not super invested, I mean, you can be invested in JJK and only read spoilers, I guess. There is like a weird gatekeeping aspect to this, for like, how dare you? Are you even like a real fan? But let's say most people in the JJK space, they're pretty diehard. Like the people that are going onto this every day, the people like go in live chat into live chat streams or comment on videos, usually they're pretty invested.
Bro, there ain't no way someone just said very based and red pilled in chat.
My issue with spoilers is just because I feel like I'm making the same video twice. That's the best way I can put it. And I hate putting in like those little chapter blockets. I'm not gonna downplay anyone. Like if you want to do that, you can make whatever kind of video you want. It is your channel. You're beholden to nobody. But still, I just hate like reposting a Twitter post about leaks when like the chapter comes out 3 days later.
Agreed.
I just feel like all I'm doing is being a recap channel at that point, which I kind of am sometimes, like admittedly, but still.
Yeah.
Still, I like it to be at least more transformative.
Yeah, that's actually more fun, and like more discussion can actually be held in the video and out of the video too, which that's like the best parts.
Exactly. New color page features Sukuna and Yuji with the 6 eyes in the back. Also, Sukuna has a Dharma chakra behind his head. Does that mean Megumi CT is still thriving? Megumi CT, well, the volumes, you know, this is kind of like one endless fight here. I don't know how much you can glean off of a single colored page. Sometimes they do matter.
Yeah.
But usually they're supposed to like encompass the idea of the entire arc or the entire fight.
I think the most important thing from that color page is we actually know what Sukuna's hair, like, true form looks like. Because for a long while, we didn't actually know what hair color Sukuna's true form was. This color page confirms it to be pink.
Yeah, he's looking just like Yuji. And he even has, like, the same fist punch as Yuji. I really hope there's a payoff to this. And I'm going to ask you guys, I'll put this in chat. Do we think that Yuji is related to Sukuna after this chapter? Because the parallels are getting a little ridiculous to me. And he is living rent-free in Sukuna's head.
Agreed. Man directly mentioned him for no reason, unless there is some relation between Heavenly Restriction and Yuji that we don't know about.
And when I say related to Sukuna, I don't mean necessarily like brothers or anything, just like in a general level.
Yep.
Someone spoiled Cursed Naoya for me before I got to Shibuya. That's rough.
Well, that's
actually, I mean, who cares about Naoya? A heavy hitter's combined attack is incoming. Yeah, it does kind of start. It's starting to seem like the character's going to come back. I don't really know why Ui would be so quick to like grab bodies, because Kusakabe is like yelling at Ui, yo, grab Yuta immediately. And though Yuta might be more alive than the other two that got chopped, it's sus.
Yeah.
And this isn't even about Gojo Copium. This is just like this is just talking about the characters getting abducted in general. It's not just Gojo, it's all of them. It's everybody. They are dumping Ui onto the battlefield to pick up bodies while Sukuna is still there. They are risking his life every single time. If it was just for a funeral or something, I don't know why they would do that.
Yeah.
The parallels are paralleling. Well said, Micah.
The turns are tabling.
Yes, they are certainly turning table.
Exactly.
Could Yuta come back with the 6 eyes? Yeah, maybe he robs them from Gojo's corpse.
Bruh.
He just pulls them. He just pulls
on this.
pulls a Danzo. Just takes them like, thank you, Ui. Let me just take this from Gojo's body.
He won't need those anymore where he is. Don't worry.
He's at an airport.
He doesn't need to see.
Everyone is related to everyone. We are all brothers and sisters. How humanitarian of you.
I mean, it's not wrong.
I mean, it's true. It's all cousins. Some
Yeah.
distant cousin. Gege claimed that Gojo would tell Megumi about his dad. Alright, if you want to believe that for the Gojo copium. Yeah, there's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can say in the JJK fandom at this point that's not going to get you ripped by somebody. Whether it be Gojo fans, like every other video, I swear to God, it's like, oh, I never expected to see the Gojo copium. I never expected to see the Sukuna glazing. It's like, I mean, really?
Bruh. I have gotten a few comments of people saying JJK YouTubers should stop trying to predict things, and I'm like, no, it's fun.
So we're all waiting on their theories.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about series is the whole point.
Exactly. I guarantee JJK wouldn't be anywhere near as popular without YouTubers or people trying to predict things or talk about things.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, discussion. It's like people talk about theories and talk about like discussion of a series and characters. That's like as old as time. You got like before there was the internet, there were book clubs. Everybody likes to talk about the thing they like.
Bruh, book
And
clubs.
the internet has made that easier than ever to find people talk about things you like.
Yeah.
Do you think there will be a Gojo training arc, or we skip straight to Sukuna versus Gojo?
I assume they mean the anime.
The anime for this?
Yeah, because we already did Sukuna versus Gojo. So.
Yeah. I'm probably just gonna skip. I'm guessing the reveal is gonna be the same as the manga.
Yeah. I don't see why they do it any different.
Does Yuji color his sides? His original hair color is pink. I think it's just an artistic choice.
Yeah.
Mark my words, Junpei versus Sukuna coming next chapter. What is the obsession with Junpei?
What's your obsession with Barney?
Barney? What?
It's Junpei, the dinosaur.
Oh.
He turned to Barney by Mahito.
Yeah. Poor Junpei, dude.
Brother got Barneyed.
Yeah, he kind of got he got it pretty rough. His mom got killed, and then he got turned into a hippo.
Yeah.
That's pretty rough. And like he wasn't even like everything in that kid's life sucked pretty much. He got bullied in school, and I remember when I was watching that with my friend, when Junpei got bullied, like why are anime bullies like these guys are out to kill you? It's never
Anime bullies are straight up psychopaths.
Yeah, it's never like if you're bullied. When I was bullied in high school, like if someone was trying to like pick on me, it would be more like, oh, that's such a stupid thing you have. But, like anime bullies are like, we're gonna lock you in the room and beat on you for hours, and then like throw you a napkin to clean yourself up.
Yeah, like what?
It's ridiculous. It's pretty funny though, in like some in like an absurdist way.
Those bullies end up often suffering for doing what they do, but
yeah,
like,
usually they do get like, I mean, Yuta's bullies that get packed up in a closet. That's pretty rough.
as they deserve.
I think Kenny tried making his own Sukuna, sprinkled some heavenly restriction traits. Yeah, it does kind of seem like that's what he did, Christian, because he assumes that Yuji is just going to survive Sukuna.
Yeah. There's also something really interesting about the fact Sukuna keeps saying he says half-assed to Maki about Maki, like Yuji is the half-assed version, which means Yuji is like the in-between point of cursed energy and physical strength.
Yeah, anime bullies died from Rika. That they did. They just got packed up in a closet.
They deserved it. In every single sense, they deserved it.
Bullies IRL are crazy too. Yeah, some people do take it too far.
Yeah, there are crazy IRL
yeah,
bullies.
for sure. But like every high school anime is like they're hunting you.
Those bullies are actual psychopaths in anime.
Yeah, they're going after it. It's all so you don't feel bad for them when Rika packs them up.
Yeah.
You should see
manhwa bullies are something else entirely different.
40-year-old bodybuilders, degree in torture. Jesus.
Yeah, those things are psychopaths.
Jesus, dude. I'm thinking of the Mob Psycho, a self-improvement club. These guys are awesome, dude. Everyone needs the self-improvement club.
Yeah.
Why do you think Sukuna hates Yuji so damn much? There are a lot of reasons for this.
My personal opinion is...
you can go.
The reason why Sukuna hates Yuji so much is because if Yuji ends up achieving any bit of strength at all, it represents that Sukuna could have been wrong, because the way Sukuna got strong was basically by abandoning his ideals and not caring about them anymore. Yuji is still being strong while holding on to his ideals, and that's what pisses him off so much, and that's why he hates him so much.
Yeah, he kind of just wants to remove Yuji as just a person. He wants to get rid of him.
Yeah.
He hates him as an ideology. It's not just beating somebody that's weak, it's putting someone down at all costs. He cannot break him, and it pisses him off. And that's why he's pretty much going in a roundabout way, killing everyone but Yuji. And even when he's killing people or defeating people, he still has Yuji on his mind because it just drives him insane.
Yep. Yuji is completely on his mind.
He cannot stand, and the biggest thing for him is he cannot gaslight himself into saying, like, oh, they're full of it. Like, he even says, I've met people like this before. Why does it bother me so much now? And it's because their souls were partially combined. He knows that Yuji will never give up from inside his own head. He cannot lie to himself.
He also knows, like, unlike everybody else, he can't make mental justifications and just lie to himself of Yuji is like a different person, or Yuji's doing this because he's selfish. No, he knows Yuji's only doing this because of his ideals. And that pisses him off to no end. And that's why he wants him dead. Because he wants to prove it's not that you can't get strong or beat Sukuna off just ideals.
Yeah, back in the day, he could have just said things like, "Oh, you know, he might have come across someone like Yuji before and just been able to lie to himself and be like, they were lying." But with Yuji, he can't.
Because he knows how Yuji thinks. Because those two shared a soul.
Would Toji have lasted longer than Maki? Probably not. Pretty much the same heavenly restriction. Yeah. Like, as far...
At best, they last the same. At worst, Toji lasts less. Well, depending on if you think Maki got stronger or not.
Yeah, if you think Maki got stronger, maybe. Like, maybe he would last less. I know some people are like, oh, Toji's a guy, so he's got to be stronger. I'm like, what? Like, they both have magically human...
Narrator directly says they're on par with each other.
Yeah, they say they're on par with each other, and also they have magic powers, basically. It's like,
and
what
everyone else is also saying they're on par with
each other. We gotta add in, like, Toji could definitely bench more than Maki. It's like, yeah, right, let's add, like, 400 pounds to on Toji's bench. Okay, he still gets bodied.
Yeah.
It's so irrelevant. When you talk about superhumans, who cares if, like, one can, like, bench an extra 200 pounds in base, and, like, as a base human.
Yeah.
I like to believe that Toji's got the 345 bench.
Bruh.
Maybe more. In base. No heavenly restriction.
Look, if Toji wanted to, Toji was homeless by choice. If he wanted to, he could have become an athlete and gotten so much money.
Yeah, dude, he's going after Eddie Hall.
Bruh.
Going after the deadlift record. Actually, I don't know if it's Eddie Hall anymore. Might be someone else.
Either.
I think Maki got to surpass him by now. Maybe in, like, actual... I don't know. They have the exact same heavenly restriction. They should be the same. The difference is experience, and Toji actually has more of that.
I mean, unless you do think heavenly restriction users can get stronger through training, because that's also a possibility.
Yep. How much stronger, though? I mean, if you train your body, it can't be that much different. Like, you're no longer in the realm of, like, oh, I got buff, so I'm stronger.
Yeah.
You're in the realm of, I've magicked myself to be strong.
Yeah, it's true.
By birth.
We don't talk about JJK.
There are so many Maki haters I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. It's just Maki. All the story ever does is gas her.
Yeah.
I mean, and Black Flasher, but that's more recent.
It might be because, like, Maki is like there's a massive war between Toji and Yuta fans. Like, I bet that war is even more massive than Hakari and Yuta fans. And because Toji equals Maki, then Maki is just included in that war.
I remember when we were reading the leaks as they were coming out, we saw Sukuna, like, superhero landing, crater that rooftop, and then he started revving up a punch. I was just like, Black Flash is coming.
Yep.
It's over, dude. Like,
though, and, like, when we were reading that, we also thought it was going to be 4 Black Flashes on Maki, not 1.
Yeah, he took her out with 1. She would have gotten 3 more, maybe, had she, survived the first one.
I really want to see Sukuna's reaction after that, because I feel like Sukuna might have been a little disappointed.
How did Gojo
Although-
teleport Panda and Inumaki in JJK 0? Because JJK 0 had no idea where Gege wanted the power systems to be, and then he never does it like that ever again. It is a weird feat. Like, if you want to use it, you can.
To be fair, it is also like a teleportation ritual circle. It's not like his normal teleportation.
But like, it's still weird. He never does it again. They never explain it. It would have definitely been useful before. I talked about it a couple of times in the video where I'm like, what? And not only that, I remember reading the manga. He pulls out the circle and he teleports. And not only does he teleport them out of the circle, he teleports part of the concrete. Instantly. Yeah. He rips it out. It's crazy. Like, what if you're like halfway in the portal? What happens to you?
There's also that time where Gojo shows the ability to teleport people by grabbing them, like he does with Yuji. Why he doesn't decide to teleport Sukuna away from Mahoraga in the entire fight, I have no idea.
JJK 0 teleports like the Black Curtain. It's a ritual anyone can do. I don't think so, because he does it with his technique. Like, he makes the same hand sign he uses to teleport. Fair. The only other character we see that can teleport is Ui.
Toto.
Oh yeah, well, Toto's got like the bootleg teleport that's like more useful in some other scenarios and like
it's more useful in combat, but not useful in like everything else.
It's also useful because Toto is just, I don't know, he's got the big brain with that thing. He's a dumbass, but whenever it comes to the boogie woogie, he's on fire.
What do you mean? He has 530,000 IQ.
Oh yeah. What do the data books say about that?
They said the Totos made it up. It's not actually that.
A fun stream, y'all. Keep up the hustle, besties. Thanks, Micah. Thank you for the support. Is roll slash scaled by attacks, or is its AP because it could be instantaneous or just fast, or it's AP because it could be instantaneous.
It's not instantaneous. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's definitely not instantaneous. We know that now. Before it was a little more up in the air, but now we see that Maki deadass. Like, there's no way she's feeling. Well, she might feel a spark, but the whole line of "oh, she can see my technique," that makes it pretty undeniable.
You can't precog insta dodge something.
No, you can't.
Yeah. So it's also just, it is technically more AP based because of the way it functions. Like, it cuts everything. And like, to be able to survive it, your durability needs to be on a 4D level.
A 4D level.
Yeah, it's dumb. Because it slashes at space itself and cuts space. And since everything exists within space, it's also cut.
That's true.
Like, it's possible to survive, which is why I don't call it hacks.
Yeah, I think it is a Duraneg. Like, if a character stands still and gets, like, their head chopped off, a lot of characters in fiction die, but a lot of characters are also way faster than Sukuna.
Yeah. Sukuna is not that... Like, here's the thing. You don't need to be faster than Sukuna. Maki is enough.
Maki. Maki... I mean, she dodged the world slash and then got bodied the moment he felt like it. Yep. Which is kind of ridiculous to think that he just decided to body her. That's basically what happened.
I mean, I've been saying for the longest time that Sukuna is faster in his technique. And I think this chapter proves that
for me. He did just vanish in front of her. He vanished in front of the person that fought the, on paper, maybe not the literally fastest, but like one of the on paper faster characters with Naoya.
Yep.
Isn't Gojo faster than Sukuna with his technique? With his blue, technique. But like in actual combat, it doesn't look like that. That's not how it's presented. Sukuna's the only one they present as having like a legitimate vanish from your eyesight. No technique, just pure movement.
Not speed blitz, but perception blitz. Like Sukuna perception blitz Maki. It's kind of
he even speed blitz her pretty much.
Yeah. No, perception blitz is faster than speed blitz.
Is it? Is there an actual metric
because Sukuna appeared and disappeared out of her view.
That's true.
That's a perception blitz.
That's what everyone's saying Yuta did to a good old Kenjaku, which is crazy, dude. Some of the things that people jump on this series is so nuts to me.
Agreed.
It's like, oh, dude, he hit that one katana. It's like, well, this panel clearly proves everything.
Clearly.
Sukuna has bootleg heavenly restriction. Maybe.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Sukuna's World Slash was only relevant once. They nerfed it too hard. I don't know. It proceeded to body the next guy that was strong he fought. It did one-shot Yuta.
Yeah.
He is 8 feet tall. That's very true. He is 8 feet tall. Got those long legs to run with.
Man, when he's sitting down, is the same height as Urame standing up.
Yeah, but Urame's like 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got to be like 8 feet tall. He is huge. And they even call him the Hulk, like Hakari does. And Hakari's a massive dude.
Yeah. Isn't Hakari taller than you? Like, how tall is Hakari?
That's a good question. Probably like, knowing anime, he's probably like 5'8", and everyone else is like 5'4".
I mean, we know Maki's 5'6". Yuji's taller than Maki. So.
Yuta is 5'10".
Yuta's 5'10"?
Yeah.
Huh. Yuji and Yuta are the same height, if I remember correctly.
Hakari is 6'1".
That makes sense.
Wait, no. This is a different character? No, that's not him.
Oh.
No, that was a completely different one. I don't see a height for him here.
Bruh.
Not anywhere on the... If anybody knows the height of Hakari...
Does anyone want to height measure Hakari?
Yeah, please height measure. Anyone, get the ruler out. Is he taller than Tyler?
Oh, Yuji's 5'9".
Yuji's 5'9". Okay,
That doesn't surprise me.
And then Yuta's 5'10", so he's a little taller.
How tall is Yuta Akotsu in feet? Yeah, Yuta's 5'9".
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
How tall is Sukuna then? Gotta be like 8 feet tall.
100%.
He is.
Oh yeah,
freakishly
JJK's
large.
characters are surprisingly tall.
Megumi is 5'10". They are all pretty tall.
Yeah.
Especially
Isn't
for anime
Naruto like
characters.
5'7", if I remember
Is
correctly?
Naruto 5'7"? Naruto height.
Yeah.
5'6".
Oh, he's shorter than I
During
thought.
part 2. He was
Yeah.
4'9" in... My
To
God,
be fair, he was 12 years old.
Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine the monsters? Can you imagine the monsters? Like the monstrous ninja. They're like, let me go beat on this 4'9", 12-year-old.
Bruh.
In that series, dude. They're just like, oh look, it's a ninja, dude. That's a child, man. Like, just chill. Like Zabuza's just out there to like murder kids. That's fucking crazy.
Zabuza is crazy in general.
Gojo is like 6'4", like 6'3". Yeah, Gojo is legitimately tall.
Yeah.
Or my friend Steve is like 6'5". Man cannot walk through doorways. How tall is Mommy Maki? Probably like 5'7".
She's 5'6".
Yeah, 5'6". Sounds about right. Do you think the finger bearers are a good hint to Sukuna's technique shooting cursed energy with elasticity? Maybe, but it was more like they were just shooting out pure cursed energy.
Yeah, they had the bootleg fire arrow.
Sasuke is 5'11".
Yeah.
Is he actually?
I think
Yeah,
he's
he
adult
is.
Sasuke.
I didn't know Sasuke's the same height as me. Interesting.
Huh.
Interesting. Why is he so much taller than Naruto?
I think you're talking about adult Sasuke in that because, like, part 2 Sasuke is the same height as Naruto.
Yeah, part 2 Sasuke is 5'6", and then he
had a growth spurt.
and then he had a growth spurt. Man, it sucks to be Naruto, dude.
Look, Naruto also got a growth spurt. They're the same height.
Are they now?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
In
they're pretty close. Sasuke looks a little taller.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the haircut.
Probably the haircut.
Sasuke also looks cooler than Naruto in general throughout all the series.
Yeah. I mean, Naruto is a literal walking traffic cone. Actually, no, I can't say anything on that. KCM2 Naruto.
This guy remembers. Yeah, my ultimate form as a ninja is like glow in the fucking dark. Like, congratulations, dude. You're really good at stealth.
I'm your nightlight.
Yeah, dude, you're just a nightlight. Like,
Bruh.
How fast is Gojo's top speed? I got FTL highball. Nobody's FTL in JJK. Nobody.
Yep.
Doesn't even make sense in the series.
Agreed.
Like you legitimately just have to ignore event after event after event, and character
You
statements.
have to ask. You have to continually question why has no one landed the Black Flash at will? Because everyone forgets the reason why no one can use the Black Flash is just because no one's cursed energy doesn't move fast enough. It's not because it's luck based. It's because no one is fast enough. That's it.
Yeah, if you're fast enough to move FTL, you should be fast enough to input your cursed energy at like what is it, a microsecond?
It's a millionth of a second.
Yeah, I think that's what a microsecond is.
No, no, it's not.
A microsecond isn't a millionth of a second?
Yeah, a microsecond's not as long as that.
It is 1 millionth of a second.
Oh, never mind then. That's on me.
Yeah, and then you also have the statements of like characters throwing fire extinguishers and other statements of like, oh, we're gonna use
Bruh, FTL
we're gonna use
fire extinguisher.
Yeah, the
FTL,
the FTL fire extinguisher. An explosion is usually like speed of sound, like a basic explosion. And then you also have things like, the piercing blood's velocity is only scary at the initial velocity from Kenjaku at top level sorcerers. Like, do we think they all got thousands of times faster? Like, I think people just grossly underestimate how fast light speed is. For characters like Maki to keep up with light speed characters after, let's say, even catching a bullet, like a hypersonic speed, you are a nobody to an FTLer. Maybe with Blue, he could go FTL if it's like instantaneous.
The only characters who I think might there's only two characters I think that have arguments for FTL are about free, which is Kashimo, Sukuna, and like Gojo, and that depends on how massively you want to upscale them in comparison to everyone else. Purely because of the entire light beam thing, but you could argue aim dodging.
Yeah, the FTL is crazy.
100%.
The idea to think that like FTL and Jujutsu Kaisen is reasonable is fucking insane.
Yeah. Didn't Gege take what statement back?
Even if he took the bold statement back, or like the mock statements back, it doesn't matter. Characters just don't treat Jujutsu Kaisen like FTL at all. The way they interact with their environment, the way they interact with things, it doesn't make any sense.
Also, what statement did they take back? I'm actually.
I think people talk about like, oh, Maki didn't catch a bullet. I don't know how fast bullets are, but it was a rubber bullet, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And rubber bullets are not as fast as an actual. And like also, all bullets don't travel at the same speed. There are such things as subsonic rounds.
I will say I think they are like above Mach 3, purely because of when the USA soldiers attacked, they were able to like casually dodge those bullets.
FTL feats are very sparse. Yes, they are. And people also jump on the Kashimo one.
Yeah, my high end is like lightning speed is what I'm okay with at a high end for JJK. But even then, yeah.
Yeah, I mean lightning. Even then, I think it depends if you think Hakari actually dodged it.
Yep.
Yeah, there are hypersonic rounds. It really depends on what round you're using, but like my fired a revolver with like a rubber bullet.
Yeah. If you want better like bullet dodging feats, like use when the USA soldiers were fighting.
It also doesn't even make sense when you have a character like Kenjaku who has seen Sukuna fight and he says, "Oh, using firearms is a good idea against a sorcerer." It's like, why would that ever be a good idea if these guys are FTL? Ever.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're FTL, you should be able to effectively catch every single bullet that is flying out at you at once and then hang out for, like, hours on end.
Yeah.
Which character will Sukuna shoot a fire arrow at? Hopefully not Kusakabe. Yeah, hopefully not Kusakabe. I swear to God, if Kusakabe forces the black box open, I'll be pissed.
Yeah.
I hope that's against Yuji. Oh, do you think Yuji is going to get rid of his half-assed heavenly restriction and go Jujutsu all the way? I sure hope so.
I think he's going to max out both.
Yeah. The fact that Sukuna still hasn't gone all out is kind of dumb when he's bodying someone with heavenly restriction hand-to-hand. Like what? Wasn't Gojo winning in hand-to-hand? Gojo was never winning.
Sukuna had to take several hits, and also he was never in it. Like, Sukuna wasn't at full power, because this should be noted. His true form is a lot stronger than Megumi, physically speaking.
I mean, even the
Like,
feats
it's
it
actually
is
night
now.
and day difference.
And even then, we have Gojo say he didn't give it his all there either.
Yeah.
And he also had to take. He also couldn't use his domain amp while doing the decision he made of using the wheel to adapt.
Yep.
And now we have Urame basically saying, "Oh, Gojo wasn't even the strongest of the people we've seen Sukuna fight, even in the Heian era."
Urame literally said, "You guys should be ashamed that Gojo was the strongest person you could bring to us."
Yeah, like Gojo was a bum for Sukuna. Is basically what Urame said.
Yep.
Like, he was strong, but not even the strongest I've had him fight before. And that even falls in line with the narrator statement of like, oh, this is the first time in 1,000 years he feels the height of tension, which means he's probably felt it before.
Yep.
It's not their. Oh, I shouldn't say he's a bum because that's not really how she treats him. But like, they treat him like, oh, Gojo was strong, but like that's the best you've got.
Yeah. I think Gojo is like a top tier Heian era member. It's just there's a difference between top tier Heian era and then there is like the strongest. Because it should be remembered, Sukuna was the strongest even before he became what he is, as in like the monster of perfect jujutsu. Then he ascended even further because he was a human at first.
I don't know. Sukuna seemed to love Gojo. He did love Gojo.
He
He loved what Gojo, like, he loved the fight that Gojo gave him, and he loved the idea that Gojo was, like, the first person, it seems like, to really try to reach Sukuna, and that's why he's starting to question it. Like, I think Gojo did a lot in that fight, and I think the most important bit is that Gojo did exceed the expectations of Sukuna, that Sukuna fought him in the domain battle, and when it was over, he was like, wow, you were nothing special.
Yeah.
Urame is a bum, bro. Urame is bodying a heavy... It's not bodying, but she's fighting a heavy hitter, and she's also knows Sukuna better than anybody.
Yep.
And existed in the
I don't know
Heian
why
era.
people are trying to discredit Urame of all people on their opinion. Like, there are some people who are just like, nah, Sukuna's not holding back. Urame is just lying. And
Like, the Gojo agenda is so fucking dead. It is unbelievable. I don't know why we're still on it.
Yeah.
It is light years gone.
I want you all to remember, Sukuna never honed in and focused on using a black flash when he could have in the domains.
Gojo might be the first person to survive in level and shrine. Doesn't sound like it, because Sukuna says you were nothing special after he survived in level and shrine.
Yeah, I think someone survived it before.
I mean, the part that impressed him was when, like, oh, I can't use my domain now. Now the fight's extended. That's when Sukuna was like, oh, okay. And then Gojo got his glorious moment where he pulled one over on him with the Hollow Purple. And I see people talk about Sukuna said this could prove fatal with the Hollow Purple. We also have to remember that Sukuna can literally bring himself back to life.
Yeah.
He's done it before. And they even say after experiencing death, he learned how to turn himself into a cursed object. Like, he's just different. It's not the same. He doesn't even treat himself as a sorcerer.
Because he's not. He's ascended.
How would Jogo compare to the Heian era, considering Sukuna's comment to him? Well, you have to imagine that... Well, if you have characters like Uro... I'm thinking of Ui Ui. If you have characters like Uro or Yorzu, I mean, you know, Jogo might be strong for his potential. He had a good technique.
I personally think they were more so specifically talking about Jogo's Maximum Meteor, because as much as I will clown on Maximum Meteor's slow, Maximum Meteor could still do damage to 15 Finger Sukuna. Like, no matter what, that is still impressive. And he still had his domain on top of that, too.
Can people without a CT have a domain expansion? Not as far as we know. Well, maybe you could have a domain expansion, but you can't imbue a sure hit.
Yeah.
Like, because a domain expansion is like the idea. It's just a barrier expansion of like your soul reflection, basically.
It just becomes a barrier.
I imagine it would just become a barrier. Yeah. You'd be a barrier with no sure
Actually,
hit.
wait, we've seen it before. Sumo Guy.
Well, there was the Finger Bearer expanded domain.
Yeah,
well, I don't know if it was necessarily a domain expansion, but like it had a domain in the area. It was a little different. It was also really early in the series.
Yeah.
Anime buffed Jogo by an insane amount. Dude was melting the city. Speaking of melting cities, Urame basically froze a city too, or like a city block. It's crazy.
Yep.
Yorzu and Urame clap Jogo in the face and it explodes. Yeah.
Jogo is such fodder
Yorzu
ability.
is top. She is way underrated in power.
Yep.
Perfect Sphere is a one shot for everybody we've seen so far.
Yeah.
Every sorcerer has an innate domain. Domain expansion is just bringing that out. Exactly. Though it does
JJK
seem like when you see a domain expansion, usually they have to imbue the sure hit.
Yep.
I really hope we get to see Megumi use Mahoraga totality though.
Same. I hope we can see Megumi have a complete domain. That's what I
Do I
want.
take the anime's adaptation into consideration when scaling characters? Not at all.
Oh, really?
No, I don't. I really. Well, maybe if it's like filling in the blanks on things we didn't know about.
Huh. I actually do, because like Gege works with the anime, so because of that I take the anime as canon. Because like he supports the
I mean,
anime
unless
more.
I hear Gege say it's 100% canon.
That's
I mean, you can. I can't really. I've dogged on people for it before. Maybe I shouldn't have. If you really want to, you can. There's not like a textbook
There's
for
also
like how the
not
powers
anything
scale.
I've also not really seen anything the anime actually like straight up contradicts about the manga.
I mean, I take it into consideration when they show like, oh, Toji deflected the red. They make it a lot more clear. There are some things it does.
Yeah. Like
I
the
don't
anime
know.
just makes things a lot more clear, and like they like give ideas for what characters could do, but other than that, they don't really contradict. Like I don't.
I
I've
think
never seen
I
it
just say the things that I wouldn't use it for if you're scaling a character is if like you see some crazy feat where somebody just perception blitzes in the anime and it was nothing like that in the manga.
Oh yeah,
Like
that I agree with.
Like I
don't
wouldn't
think there's no
use
attachment.
like I wouldn't use the fire arrow nuclear explosion as a direct feat for the Sukuna in the manga because it doesn't even fit with the other characters' power levels at that point in time.
To be fair, Sukuna is also kind of just above everyone.
Yeah, he is actually like that, but you know what I mean, where it's like it's not
Yeah.
portrayed that way the same. It's a little inconsistent with the manga.
Oh, let me
Like,
actually look at that because I don't remember what. Like, I know that Sukuna made a giant fire pillar in the actual manga too.
anime is non-canon, and so is the manga. The only canon is what I say. Copy that, music 17508.
Bruh.
I'm waiting on your interpretation for all future videos.
Wait, what does the Maho fight contradict?
I don't think the
'Cause they
Maho
should
fight
Maho fight.
necessarily contradicts a bunch of things, but it definitely embellishes a ton.
Well, I mean, it does give Mahoraga the ability to grow, but even then, actually, no, it's
And
kind of
and
somewhat
grow gills
consistent.
while adapting to something else.
Yeah, the growing gills thing that I can agree with, but Mahoraga having the ability to grow is kind of consistent because Mahoraga has really inconsistent sizes. So that makes a lot of sense if it's like just extrapolating on that.
Do I think Novara is still alive? I don't even, no, I don't think Novara is still alive. Maybe her curse tools in her curse techniques in a curse tool. I mean, fire arrow is definitely a nuke. Yeah, I mean, okay, it's probably a nuke, but it's not represented as a bright flash and detonation in the middle of a city like it was in the anime. I mean, I should say it's embellished. Okay, you know, obviously Sukuna is above everyone.
Yeah, because like the fire arrow straight, like in the anime, the fire arrow looks like it straight up had a bigger effect than the domain on the city.
Sure did.
Yep.
I mean, it got
In the
people
manga, you can't really
upscaling
make that
it.
interpretation.
I think the manga is just more reserved with how it showcases abilities in general.
Yeah.
Sukuna used Fire Arrow versus Maho and not versus Gojo, so Maho is stronger than Gojo.
No, it's just Sukuna wanted the space dismantle.
I think Sukuna just had to use Fire Arrow against Maho because of the adaptation.
That too.
He had to use something else. It
And
survived
he
the MS.
And he already showed Fire Arrow, so he was like, why not show this again? It's not like it's going to help them.
It is curious because he really did just go after Maho with whatever he needed to do. Like, it was not going to die to the Cleave and Dismantle anymore. It survived the MS.
Yeah.
He had to use something else. It is one of those interesting things where now in the manga, I saw this for so many months. People were like, okay, why would Sukuna not use this if he could? Why would he not use it here? And like, the more we get into it, the more character statements we get. It's like, because he can fuck around and find out.
Yep. Sukuna literally just wanted the space dismantle. I tell people this all the time. The reason why he fought the way he did and he wasn't fighting optimally, because he could have been fighting optimally inside the domain instead of choosing to use Maharaga's wheel. He could have just ended it with the fire arrow because it's Sukuna. Let's not get into this debate. But basically, he didn't want to fight optimally because he wanted the space dismantle. He wanted the guarantee counter to infinity.
Fire arrow can't be the same CT as cleave and dismantle since they were imbued in his domain. I mean, it could be. Gojo imbues a technique in his domain and still uses blue.
Yeah, you can impute aspects of a technique in your domain. For example, Yuta doesn't use the full aspect of sky manipulation with the sword. He just uses a thin icebreaker.
I think Yuta is a weird case. I think I more so just point to Gojo, like using blue to move around Sukuna.
Also true.
In his domain.
Yeah.
If Sukuna can cut atoms, that is an instant nuke. True. But still. I don't think he can cut atoms. Well, maybe he can with the World Slash, but I don't think he has that much precision.
I mean,
also,
I think it's more so he doesn't want to then.
It's also that it's also that this guy. You think Yuji knows that if you cut an atom, you cause a nuclear explosion?
Bruh.
You think Yuji's that smart? Or maybe not smart. I should say, you think Yuji has like that particular knowledge? Maybe. But Yuji's kind of presented as dumb as shit.
Yeah. I think you get that from Megumi, because I feel like Megumi would know this for some random reason. Because Sumiki
and it's also, I don't know if applying real-world logic to every single ability when you have things like that shouldn't exist in Jujutsu Kaisen with the curse technique.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, like, when we talk about FTL, anything with mass moving at faster than light speeds on Earth is bad for the planet. Very bad. Yep. But people are more than happy to apply real-world logic to get them to light speed. Just not for all the after effects.
Yuji's been on... You know what? That's actually a fair point. Yuji watched literally every single movie Gojo gave him.
Yeah, what's a good Yuji memory? Maybe he can defuse a bomb now.
Bruh.
Maybe Yuji got to watch some bangers there, or do you think like Gojo has bad taste?
I'm gonna be real. I think Gojo just found every single... Like, he went to a store and just got every movie he could. He went to a Blockbuster that just barely ran.
Well,
was about to run out of business, and then he bought the entire Blockbuster with his, spoiled self.
Let's time scale this. How long do we think Gojo was gone for before he came back? Because Yuji was watching Fellowship of the Ring. That's like a 3-hour movie, and it was like the very end of Fellowship of the Ring.
Bruh.
And, like, if you're watching Fellowship of the Ring, you're definitely watching the other two. So, at least 3 of those movies were Lord of the Rings.
Was Gojo just in Ichiji's car for, 8 hours and forcing Ichiji to use gas for, 8 hours?
9 hours. No, but he pulled him away. He pulled him away a little too early, and I'm imagining when he went back, they pulled out the 2 towers. Yeah. And there's no way they left after Helm's Deep.
Yeah.
Like, if they're watching 2 towers, you suffer the tree people so you can see Helm's Deep.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, that's a 3-hour movie, so we know Yuji was there for at least 3 hours.
Yeah.
He has all the knowledge on Gandalf he'll ever need. That means Sukuna has seen Lord of the Rings, too. It's great.
Sukuna's also... I feel like Sukuna is a movie buff, because I don't think he... Because, Sukuna could have interrupted, but he just didn't. So I think Sukuna was enjoying it.
It's probably the least boring thing that's happened to him since he got in that body.
You know, that's what I think Yuji was doing over the month. That's what I think Sukuna did over the month time skip.
Yeah, you can't skip peak. Exactly. You can't skip Helm's Deep. Like, if Gojo came in, like, they were at Helm's Deep, he's like, oh, wait a second. I'll get back to you in a second. Hold on.
So he just teleports to Jogo, like, wait a second, knocks him out again, teleports back. All right, finish the movie.
Yeah, finish the movie. This is the best part, guy. That sounds like a Gojo thing to do, too.
It is. This is the worst part.
Did they ever explain Yuji's gauntlet things? Not yet. A lot of people think it's blood manipulation, among other things, but it could just be something entirely new. Or the weird obsession with Dagon.
Oh, God. The Dagon obsession.
The Dagon obsession, dude. I blame NC Hammer.
Yep, 100%. Like, that theory just came out of nowhere.
It did. And now I get people talking about Dagon all the time.
Bruh.
Maki should have cut Sukuna to pieces with her Duraneg sword.
Well, too bad.
Too slow.
Too slow, bro.
She was too slow. She couldn't even pull it up.
Someone just said, "Do you think Yuji would fuck with Scott Pilgrim?"
He would fuck with Scott Pilgrim, dude. Nah, dude, he
Yeah,
defends
he'd love
Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim was horrifically bullied, dude, and Yuji already defended Junpei.
Yeah, and Yuji defends bullies, like people from bullies in general.
Yeah, dude, he sees the soul like that one, the girl that was like fat and then not fat. He was like, "Yo, you're like the same person, dude. That's a keeper."
Yeah. People were calling Yuji a golden flag, not even a green flag.
A golden flag. That is like the nicest thing you can do.
Yeah.
That's why they gave him the 10.
What?
And nah, imagine if this is a callback. They gave him the 10. Navarre and Megumi did.
Oh yeah,
An
right.
excellent
Yeah,
performance. Imagine if this is a callback to the Mahito IMU. I think it is. I think that one's pretty on the nose, to be honest. Like, yeah. Mahito was a bum that was there to teach us about the soul and the things that were to come into play later.
Yeah. I've recently had a theory that, blood manipulation, right? I think it goes beyond blood manipulation. I think it's just full-on body manipulation. Just no one thinks about it in the right way.
No, Sukuna's blocking the sword with his own infinity. Yeah, but Maki's also too slow to not get blitzed by Sukuna.
Sukuna copied Gojo's infinity.
Sukuna copied. Yeah, he did.
Bruh.
Maki should go for the head. Yeah, I saw people get pissed by that, but like, if you want to be really pedantic, usually a stab has less area to reach than especially from the way she was running. She went to do a big swing arc.
Also, their goal is literally their goal is to save Megumi. I need to constantly remind people of this. They're not trying to kill Sukuna, they're trying to save Megumi.
Yeah, because saving, well, I mean, they're kind of failing to kill Sukuna if that's the plan. I don't think they could, to be honest.
No, do I.
I think saving Megumi is just the easiest way to stop Sukuna. Like, people talk about, oh, Jacob's Ladder, oh, this, but like all these things consistently fail to kill Sukuna, and then it's shocking for some reason. There's a lot of headcanon around some of the abilities of like, oh, they have to be able to kill them instantly.
It's almost like Jacob's Ladder is power-based, and it doesn't actually just an instant GG work hacks no matter what.
Who's your favorite JJK character? Yuji right now, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
For me, the order goes Yuji, Sukuna, everyone else is irrelevant.
Not true.
Oh, wait, Kusakabe.
Maki tried to bisect Sukuna. Yeah, she did. So she was trying to kill them.
Yeah.
Because they can bring... I mean, they already asked us before that, oh, we can kill him and he'll survive.
Yep.
Yeah, they've been going for the kill. Or at least trying to kill Sukuna's body. They just can't. Just built different. Which is so dumb at this point. Is it dumb when like that's the only way he's ever been presented is as unkillable?
Yeah.
It's not like it's not lore accurate. It's pretty accurate to everything else.
Yuji is the second is the strongest character piece. What? The heart is getting in the way of reading that properly.
Yeah. These
like, I'm just trying.
Yeah, I don't really like this argument that like, oh, Sukuna is too strong now. Like, maybe he has some conveniences, but like as far as his character being strong, it's the only way he has ever been presented.
Yeah. Oh, Form Poppy just asked a good question. Blood manipulation or 10 shadows?
10 shadows.
Yeah.
Like,
as much as I think blood manipulation has a lot of potential, 10 shadows is better.
10 shadows is so good. You also copy parts of blood manipulation with 10 shadows.
Yep. Like someone brought something up recently to me. You know how like 10 shadows is like that little liquid of shadows, right?
Yeah.
Like it could be possible for like a 10 shadows user to learn how to manipulate that and use that in combat, like how Yorozu did with liquid metal.
Liquid metal.
Yeah.
Jacob's Ladder is a scam. Jacob's Ladder is a scam. You know, it is interesting. Everybody assumed it could insta kill him when he was at 15 fingers, but he did kind of start yapping like right in the middle of it in retrospect.
Yeah.
It's not like she stopped it for that beforehand. I mean, he started yapping in the middle of it. It's like, yo, yo, yo. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious how they did that, actually. If we look back, yeah, he started talking while he was in it.
Like we knew for a while it wasn't like it was power based. Just people really didn't want it to be power based.
It's clearly output based. It's just all their output is too fucking weak.
Yep.
That's the real issue. Is they're just too weak to kill him.
Because the moment that you make something power based in like JJK, it becomes much worse cross-verse, especially, which is what most people think about like when it comes to this type of thing. Like most of the time, they don't even care about inverse and how it makes sense inverse. It's just their thoughts of, oh, this no longer works on this character from a different verse.
What's the most underrated and overrated technique? Underrated? That's a good question. Overrated, definitely Limitless.
Underrated, hot take, 10 Shadows. Because everyone calls 10 Shadows garbage aside from Mahoraga.
Yeah, I think that's... I mean, there's gotta be a more underrated one. Overrated is, I would say, Limitless. And not because Limitless isn't crazy strong, but because I have never seen more headcanon around abilities in my life than the Six Eyes and Limitless. Nothing comes close, unless we're counting them as, like, separate. If you want to go, like, full on, if you count these Six Eyes as a technique, which they are kind of counted as in, like, one data book or a couple statements.
I think I have another overrated technique, which is going to annoy a lot of people. Curse Spirit Manipulation.
What grade do you think you'd be? Grade 4. Grade 5, honestly. Because Maki can definitely kill me.
Yeah.
Like base Maki. Pre-awakening.
Yeah. To be fair, base Maki is like grade 2 level. It's just they were held back because, yeah.
Six Eyes is the best technique. Is it? Is it really, though?
I mean, technically...
Takaba sounds way better.
Yeah. I'd agree that creation is underrated if it wasn't for the fact that its energy cost was so massive.
Underrated was Mai, in my opinion, like Imagine with Sukuna. Mai's technique is great. You know, it's the same as Yorzu. And we saw that Yorzu can make a one-shot ball.
Yeah.
Curse Spirit Manipulation is OP. Yeah, Curse Spirit Manipulation is probably the most underrated. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
That one, in theory, you could pick up an incredibly busted technique. Eventually.
The only reason I don't think Curse Spirit Manipulation is actually as good as people think was up Frozen is like the reason I don't think it's as good as people think is because Curse Spirits, after you absorb them through CSM, does not get stronger at all. Like,
no, but you can do things like, let's say if you got Idle Transfiguration and you aren't Kenjaku, you could use it that one time to just make yourself immortal, or something like that.
I mean, you could also just keep the Cursed Spirit around and have them constantly use the technique on you.
That's true. Effectively, you're effectively immortal at that point.
Yeah. Just my main issue with it entirely is just basically that the Cursed Spirit, like, have to get stronger. Or, well, they don't get stronger. That's why I just don't think it's as good as people say. It's a good technique, but I think it's overrated.
Star Rage is slept on, but not underrated. Yeah, Star Rage is really good. My only issue with Star Rage is, like, the one amazing showing it has resulted in nothing.
I just think if Yuki had more ranged applications, it would be amazing.
You can just spam curses. Yeah, Curse Spirit Manipulation, honestly, the most hacks technique. Like, if you live long enough, you're just going to be OP.
I mean, I also think numbers are one of the most overrated things in all of fiction, but that's just me.
What are? So, what do you think is the most underrated thing in overrated thing in fiction?
Like numbers, like having a bunch of like weak, but like 1,000 of something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
jumping people with a bunch of ants would probably work eventually.
Eventually, maybe.
Yeah, if you had, a quintillion ants.
Yeah.
Eventually, you'd suffocate someone.
To be fair, Kenny was also amping those cursed spirits.
Yeah, Kenjaku.
Choso's not. It's also Choso.
This is another event for another option, another point in time where I get to hate on Geto.
Yep.
That Geto is just a bum.
Yeah.
And his technique is really good, but Kenjaku is really an upgrade. Like, let's be real, Kenjaku was the upgrade for Geto.
Yep. Also, no, Idle Transfiguration cannot, because if you have enough cursed energy, you can, like, it would take several hits, because, like, the more...
I don't know. I'll be honest. I know there's, like, the whole event where he's like, oh, you instinctively covered your thing with cursed energy, and it's like, and then it's never brought up again.
He literally no, it is actually bringing it up again. Against Toto, he literally says he can't one shot him because his soul's at 40%, while
Okay.
Toto's at 100.
Okay, it's been a long
So it's
ass
like,
time. I'll take your word for it.
yeah, there's like power limits to it. Like for example, if he tried it on someone like Yuta, it would not work, like without several touches.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What do you guys prefer, for Yuji to get power up to win versus Sukuna, or for Sukuna to get weaker somehow? I don't think you even need either necessarily. I think waking up Megumi is the option.
I would have liked Sukuna getting weaker, but we're kind of at the point where Sukuna's definitely not getting weaker because like that's what everyone else was there for. And then Gege null and voided it by having Sukuna land a Black Flash. So yeah.
Yeah, I think both could happen though. I agree with Dan on this. That if you have Yuji get a power up, well, Yuji's gonna get a power up. Let's just be clear. Like it's going to happen.
Oh, 100%.
Like Yuji is built for this, quite literally. Like people talk about Sukuna all the times and like, oh, he's unstoppable, and he is. Except there's a kid here that was made by a guy for this one purpose.
Yeah.
Like Yuji is the wild card here.
Yep. People love to say there's not a power cliff in JJK, but there is. When the cloning games happens, there's a power cliff, and it just gets bigger from that point
Sukuna
on.
got weaker until, yeah, he did get weaker
Yep.
until he Black Flashed her, which the real question is, I have no idea where Sukuna's at, like I said before. Like, there's like two narrator statements, like, oh, a desperate measure. It's like, how desperate is it really? Oh, we'll see at the end. Hopefully it all makes sense. Hopefully it all makes sense. Hopefully all the holding back statements make sense at the end of the fight. They'll win by getting Megumi some will to live. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
A Black Flash
Chance and
doesn't
hand
replenish...
songs. Sorry, go ahead.
The Black Flash doesn't replenish everything, though. Gojo need 4 to be at full output again. Yeah, it doesn't, but the point is, I think it's more so that we now have, like, the massive page of, like, he hasn't locked in yet, that, like, okay, they're boned. They're just screwed.
Yep. Like, the thing is, like, even though, like, Black Flash doesn't recover everything, the fact that Sukuna is now in amp state at all is bad news for everyone.
He just one-shot one of their strongest members. Like, absolute clear. Locks in.
Just a reminder, Maki was straight up telling them that if anyone was to jump in to support Gojo, it should be her, not Yuta Akotsu. This same person just got one shot.
Yeah, she got one shot. And, like, kind of feebly one shot, to be honest.
Yeah. Now, granted, it was because Yuta was insurance, but yeah.
That's true.
Maki is, like, the big four. Maki is part of the big four.
One of their heavy hitters. The guy they said, oh, we should send Maki out to go kill Kenjaku.
Yep.
And then she got bodied. Like, I don't know how else to put it, but getting perception blitzed and then one shot is bad. It's a bad look.
Yeah.
Like, she
like,
did
at
some
least
cool
you have
stuff.
some copium of they dodged the world slash beforehand.
Yeah, she did do some cool stuff, but then when Sukuna locked in, he was just like, see ya.
Yep.
I mean, maybe she'll heal, maybe she'll come back, but at this point, it's really there where, like, if these characters come back, it's because Sukuna didn't decide to body them. Didn't just decide to, like, finish them off.
It's time for Shoko to step up, bruh.
Yeah, Shoko needs to step up. It is crazy.
Yeah.
It is a little crazy. I know that Sukuna, like, I didn't expect him to be this strong. I know he was presented this way. And I know a lot of people, honestly, some of it is that people really thought that Gojo was going to win in the Gojo versus Sukuna fight, which is fucking crazy to me. I had so many comments about that.
Yeah, that's just, it's crazy.
So, like they actually thought he was winning, which is nuts to me. Like, I never once actually thought this guy was going to win.
Same.
It was like, the amount of comments like, oh, the black box is going to do nothing. It's like, yeah, sure.
About that.
It's like, yeah, next week he dies, pretty much. The moment they said that, like, okay, this way Gojo can go all out, and Sukuna has to hold back. Like, what the fuck does that mean to people? He's just gonna lose. Yeah. That's all it means. Momo air cleave over world-ending slash. The Momo air cleave is nuts. It's true.
I guess that just means Urame has enough durability to tank the world's cleave, and that Hakari damaged Urame, therefore Hakari over world cleave.
Do you think Maki can get stronger with the damage she takes, like her muscles are adapting to damage?
Actually, that makes sense. No, yeah, that makes sense. Like, if they wanted to show a way for Maki to get stronger by basically having her muscles heal faster and by extension having to evolve and, like, muscle repair, that'll make a lot of sense.
He knows the plot. I think it's less like... I think it's less... I don't know if you're talking about me or Kusakabe, but I'm assuming we're talking about Kusakabe. He knows the plot. It's more like Gege, throughout the fight, kept laying hints of, like, oh, Sukuna has way more shit. And we already knew he had more shit going into the fight. But we have these little hints of like, oh, it's crazy to see you fighting so desperately. And it's like, not as desperately as you. I couldn't even use other techniques, but I guess that paid off in its own way. And you're like, okay, it's just building up to someone getting bodied.
Yeah.
Like when the fight opens up and he tanks your strongest ability, the strongest good guy ability we've seen so far, besides like a black hole. It was a bad look.
Yeah.
Also, I can argue the fire arrow can kill Gojo if Sukuna kept burning the arrow around Gojo until there's no oxygen left for the brain. I mean, but the way Yuta makes it sound is that even if you're at max RCT output, you still get, like, at some point, the damage can be so much you just die.
Yep. Also, reminder, in the first domain, Gojo needed max RCT output to survive through that. Yeah. So if Sukuna just chose instead to fire a fire arrow, game over.
Which we already know he can shoot in the domain.
Yeah.
Gojo did just deadass lose the first domain clash.
Yep. If Sukuna wanted to, that would have been the end. I hate to say it, but it would have been.
There's also the fact that, like, what was it Kai was saying about the, I mean, there's so many options for victory. We don't even know what he's at yet. Just the craziest part.
Yeah. As the series continues, we find out more and more about Sukuna, and it just gets terrifying. Because Sukuna's actually terrifying. He is him. He is what he was hyped up to be.
He is everything he was hyped up to be and more.
Yep. He lost the second one too, yeah.
Yeah, he also lost the second one. I kept going. Yep. Took him a while. Took him prison realm knowledge.
Instead, that's why I'm so, like, on board with the entire... Or that's why I'm so gung-ho about the entire... Sukuna just wanted the space dismantle. Because there are so many opportunities he could have won if he just didn't go for the space dismantle.
Yeah, even when he thought that Gojo couldn't open a domain anymore, he just decided to... He still wanted to adapt.
Yep.
He still said, and then I'll adapt to that infinity, even then he had no way of getting past a sure hit anymore.
Yeah.
And we know their RCT output was dropping at that point.
Yep. And here's my problem with Gojo coming back, because I know that, like, there's a bunch of people saying Gojo needs to come back. 4 words and a couple hand signs and Gojo's dead.
It's pretty... Yeah. I mean, I don't like talking too much about Gojo versus Sukuna anymore, because people are so gung-ho about this at this point. That, like, the amount of Gojo fans are still on this endlessly.
We actually have a calm chat for once about this.
Yeah, I think it's mainly because, I mean, if you're still on the Gojo agenda now, it's like, okay, you're free to do so.
Yeah. I'm also waiting for the blood manipulation domain, because I think that's going to go crazy.
But these past few weeks have been like, don't worry, guys, next week for sure he dies this time. Next week, everybody.
Kusakabe is going to put him down.
Yeah, this time Kusakabe, for sure, guys.
Look, just like how no one had faith in Takaba, and Takaba still ended up winning, no one's gonna have faith in Kusakabe. That's why he's gonna win.
Yeah, the Gojo versus Sukuna period of the chapters was a unfun. It was cool memes, funny memes. Meguna did look like just the way they had him win was just so goofy. Yeah. Of like, all right, I'll get my ass beat on purpose for hours, and then I'll one shot you. It's like, okay, I mean, that's a valid strategy, but it also just looks weird to read.
Yep.
Wheel spins. I adapt. Do you guys prefer villains like Sukuna and Frieza or villains like Makima and Griffith? Well, I think Griffith is better than anyone else on that list, if I'm being honest.
I have not read Berserk or Chainsaw Man, so I cannot answer.
I think, but I would say... For a battle manga, probably Sukuna and Frieza, but I think Sukuna is also better than Frieza.
I also think Frieza and Sukuna can't be compared, like, at all.
Yeah, like, Frieza's a little, like, kind of goofy, to be honest. I guess Sukuna's kind of goofy.
Frieza's just a petty bitch. He's like that is all Frieza is.
He's a petty finger gunner. But again, I guess so is Sukuna. They both
Yeah,
shoot
but, like,
the finger blast. Dude.
Yeah. Sukuna's trying to prove some things about him. Freak's just a petty bitch. That's
Listen,
it.
man, Gojo is the strongest. Definitely.
He's the strong. Go and Joe
are the strongest characters in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Why did they take Gojo's body then? I ain't on that hype, but it's odd. I mean, they could bring him back now. With how they're portraying Sukuna now, we were talking about this earlier, that with how they are portraying Sukuna now, it looks like you just bring back everybody and he's going to still survive.
Yep.
Also, rest in peace, Akira Toriyama, since we're talking about.
Yeah, rest in peace, Akira Toriyama.
I was never a big reader of the Dragon Ball, but it's undeniable, the influence.
Yep. So, yeah. Yeah.
Gojo is the strongest victim.
Strongest victim.
I mean, that's true.
Bruh.
Factual statement. The power scaling on this anime is crazy. That it is.
Yeah.
I'd love for them to bring Gojo back just to kill him again. No, I don't think there's a purpose in that.
I think that'd just be funny, but
that's actually a middle finger to Gojo fans.
Yeah.
It's like I know some
fair,
people say that Gege hates Gojo all the time. It's so not true. Like when they say like, "Oh, it's a good year. It's a good year for Gojo to be gone." He's not saying that he actually hates the character. He made Gojo. Like Gojo is supposed to be. Gojo is kind of supposed to be likably unlikable. Like he's kind of up his own ass, but you can't help but respect it because he does back it up most of the time.
Oh right, this reminds me of something. Chat, do any of you guys know about the art? Like, is there actually an interview where Gege says Gojo is too strong to write for? Because based on everything I can see, Gege hates Gojo for his personality, not because he's too hard and powerful to write for. So, do you guys know about any article like that?
To be fair, I do think he was too strong to write for at the time he was talking about, even if that was an article.
Oh yeah, true.
If you dropped him in now, not even close.
Yeah.
Gojo come back and amp his body with purple. Imagine punch his ant with purple.
Too bad he just gets cut in half before he can land the punch.
He would just get cut in half again.
Yeah. I mean, those punches would do damage, especially because they wouldn't do as much as people think, but they do damage for sure. But I don't think you get the chance.
Especially with Sukuna going on the up and up with his black flashes now.
Yeah. Sukuna's on that heavenly Zaw.
If Gojo is too powerful to write for, what the hell is Sukuna? I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like Sukuna's kind of everything Gojo fans want Gojo to be.
Yeah.
Like I understand the upset people that like, oh, I don't like that Gojo got off screen. Oh, I want him to do more. I do wish Gojo got to do more than just like appear for a fight and die. And maybe he will. But if this was Gojo, if like the situations were reversed, Gojo fans wouldn't be complaining.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be saying, "Oh, Gojo's too strong." They'd be worse. They'd be worse than the Sukuna fans are right now.
100%.
I've never seen glazing like I saw glazing for Gojo in my life. Nothing like it.
Crazy.
They were going crazy, just straight up ignoring. Like it was so obvious he was gonna die. And they were still going.
Like the story physically doesn't work as well. Like if Gojo stayed alive or won the fight, I don't see any way the story can be good if Gojo won the fight. Or even, like, if he ended up, like, tying out Sukuna and both of them dying. I just don't see how the story could have been good.
The crazy theories I saw during that time period. Something else. Good times. Funny memes with, like, Mahoraga Daddy, like, taking care of Maguna. I remember after that happened, when Kaio was so on the agenda. It was so funny. That when it was all over, dude, he's like, I just want this week to be over.
You just wanted it all to end.
Good times. I went off on Twitter. I did.
Yeah.
Mask off, Sukuna fan.
I just immediately moved on. I was like, oh, Gojo's dead. All right, talk about Kashima now. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, the only thing that Gojo won first place in the popularity poll, and Gege thought girls got Gojo to first place and pointed them in Nanami's direction. Nanami's a hardworking dude. Nanami's got a nice. He had a real job. Working hard.
It's why I think Gege only hates Gojo for his personality. Like, he only talks bad about his personality and who he is as a character, not actually, like, his power.
I mean, it's clear he likes Gojo. He gave him 12 chapters of gas.
Yeah.
I remember Zone and I were talking about this during the fight going on. We're like, man, they're really gassing Gojo like how you gas somebody who you're about to kill off brutally.
Mm-hmm.
And he even gave Gojo his own hidden inventory flashback arc. I don't know how you could possibly say he hates him after that. What other character gets their own flashback arc? And then Kashimo died. We don't talk about Kashimo. Who?
Yeah, who? Well,
Who's Kashimo? Farmer?
Farmer?
Them killing each other could have worked, but Kenjaku would have had to be way stronger than he was. That wouldn't even work, because then Yuji doesn't get his payoff to his character arc.
Yeah, that's like my main issue. Like, people all the time were saying, "Oh, Kenjaku could be the main villain for Yuji." No, he couldn't.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yuji doesn't
honestly.
give a damn about Kenjaku. Like, he knew Kenjaku was his parent for the longest time. He never decided to ask any questions about it. He just lived with it and dealt with it. He doesn't care about him, and that's my main issue of Kenjaku being his main villain.
Yeah, it was rough times having to tiptoe around like that. That's not happening. Because usually, I don't want to just say so it's not going to happen on like a video, because I like to be open to all viewpoints. But when it came to Kenjaku, I was like, really, the brain is going to be Yuji's final villain, the guy he interacted with like one time.
Yeah.
I don't think
Like,
so.
In theory, Kenjaku has all the setup to be a perfect final antag, but it just required Yuji to care a lot more about Kenjaku than he actually did, which he does not.
I mean, I thought Kenjaku was kind of cool.
Yeah.
He was pretty cool. He had some cool stuff. He had a cool brain. He was really smart. So they say. I mean, they say he's smart, but he also died kind of like a dumbass.
The reason I like Kenjaku a lot is because Kenjaku actually straight up makes it clear how much a lot of his plan is literally based on luck.
If Kenjaku is dead, do you think it's a waste of a villain? I mean, not really,
Nope.
because I never liked Kenjaku that much. So I was kind of happy when he died.
I love how Kenjaku went out, because like Kenjaku went out in the way that he had been doing everything, scheming and planning. Because they schemed around him, distracted him, and planned around Kenjaku and beat him like that. The same way they beat Gojo. I think that was a perfect ending.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm in the minority when I say I don't like Kenjaku that much. I know there are a ton of people that liked him, so maybe he was wasted. I did think he was going to do more. He has more
potential.
I see some people still say he's going to be alive, which is crazy.
Yeah, after like Gege kind of just, put the sword into everyone's head like they did Kenjaku that he's gone. So
yeah, stabbing a sword into your brain when you're a brain is pretty that's about as final of an end you can get, besides getting like thrown into the Terminator 2 pit.
yeah.
Sukuna used to live in Yuji, and now Yuji lives in Sukuna's head. I wish I could pin that.
Yuji's just in
I wish I could pin that. Rent free. Yeah. Kenny was wasted, in my opinion. Cool character, awful ending. I completely understand if you believe that.
That too.
I will not put down. If you're a Kenny fan, I understand your feelings of being robbed.
Yeah. Like, I think Kenjaku had a lot more potential than what he showed, but at the same
I just
time,
felt like he was a lot of talk, and there's a lot of the story telling you Kenjaku's super smart, but like all of his plans work on circumstance.
Yeah.
And like work on convenience for him. Like, oh, thank God that worked out. Not because, oh, I'm really smart and it'll happen my way.
His entire plan only got to start because some unpredictable factor set things into motion.
Like I've said this before, I think Kenjaku's just a worse Aizen.
Yep.
Like Aizen in his story, he set up things and they went his way. They went his way because he was smart enough to make them happen.
Yeah.
He was smart and strong enough to make it happen.
I also really hate that like they actually made it clear that in the plot that it was Kenjaku who directly set up Yuji to eat the finger, because like there was so much for that to happen that does not make sense.
That is ridiculous to me. It's like, oh, he's gonna eat the finger right before he completely dies with no Sukuna in him.
Yep.
Like, So
how do you
like this is
plan
the
around
same
Yuji
guy
eating
that gets
food?
Tsumiki to have like a cursed object and like incarnate with Yorzu, but he's like, I'm gonna make the worst plan ever to get my chosen vessel for Ryomen Sukuna to eat a finger, maybe.
Yep. Like, it'd be one thing if Kenjaku somehow just, like, snuck it into his food. Like, that big chicken nugget.
Aizen
Like,
solos Gojo though.
he,
Aizen solos everybody in JJK. Bleach is
yep.
crazy. Bleach is a crazy series. Kenny is a professional yapper and actual mother to the MC. Yeah, there are points. I think Kenjaku. I like Kenjaku more for the theories around him than I like him as a character. I think that's what I'll say. Like, I've talked about him a lot, even if I don't like him that much. Like, people are like, why? I don't power scale him because I'm inevitably going to be biased against Kenjaku.
Yep.
I talked about him. I try to give him the benefit of the doubt, but like usually I just don't talk about characters I'm very invested in or like invested against because that's what's going to happen. Like, I don't power scale Miwa. I like Miwa. Also, she's a bum. Has no powers.
Got Perception Blitz by Kusakabe.
Yeah, Perception Blitz by Kusakabe. Okay, but Aizen planned his own downfall. The only way he lost was because he took unnecessary steps in creating Ichigo. Yeah, because Aizen is so him that only he could defeat him.
Yep.
Gege thinks Gojo is not a particularly good / heroic person, but I imagine he at the very least likes aspects of him. I think it's more that Gojo's just kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, Gojo is really up his own ass.
Oh yeah, 100%. It also is like, I also think there's a bit of self-hate going on because I remember like in another interview, one of his coworkers say Gege is a lot like Gojo, so it's probably that too.
Yeah, Gojo's a great character, but I like that they show it underneath the bravado. There is a guy that's like questioning of himself, of like, am I really the strongest? Like, can I save anybody? I feel like people jump. I feel like the Gojo fan base in particular grossly mischaracterizes him sometimes. They treat him like he's just strong guy. He's not just like the strong character. There's a guy. There's a man. There's the man of Gojo Satoru that is stuck dealing with the aftermath of hidden inventory for pretty much half his life.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there and he's asking himself like, oh, everyone has now put the title of the strongest on me. I just have to live up to it.
Everyone just sees him as the strongest. Like, he has other traits, but no, like, it's kind of really sad to think about that the only reason they wanted Gojo out the box, like, they wanted Gojo out the box, but their main reason for wanting him out the box was to solve all the mess. Which is kind
that's
of
my favorite part of Gojo. Really is the character. Like, he finally got to finish his arc as a character against Sukuna.
That's why I don't think he should come back.
He got the most permanent ending of any character that's died to Sukuna besides like Baby Kashima.
Yep.
Like Higuruma kind of got like.
Higuruma
got the ending of you take it from here on Nanami 2.
Yeah.
See you in Malaysia. He never got over that PTSD, to be honest. He definitely didn't. Gojo really had to deal with the fact that Geto brings it up to him like, you and I, we're not the strongest anymore. You are. You are the strongest. You could make my dream happen. You could do everything that I am setting out to do, but you won't because you don't have like some grounded ideology. I mean, granted, Geto's ideology was ass, but
yeah.
But the whole thing with
Also,
Gojo, he can't connect with these people. He's stuck trying to find out. Like, he's stuck dealing with the title of the strongest this whole time. He calls himself the strongest. He presents himself to everybody in Jujutsu society as like, I can protect you. I'm the best one here. I'll do it. Like, oh, you think you're someone? When he goes against a cursed spirit, he's like, do you know who you're fighting? Because at the end of the day, Gojo was the strongest, or was basically the strongest for everybody that ever met him. And then when he fights Sukuna, he finally gets like a real, like in his mind, is a real praise from Sukuna.
And he's also like relieved from the entire burden of being the strongest.
Like he finally gets to be Gojo.
He's stronger than him now.
He trusts his students to pick up where he left off.
Yep. That's why I think Gojo died happy and satisfied because he
I don't know if he was happy. Like I don't like the I don't like the idea that like there is some there what's a thought I'm trying to get out here? There is the weird characterization that I've seen where people are saying, "Oh, Gojo always cared about saving people. He did, but like Gojo never got to be Gojo." Is the biggest thing they're talking about. Is that Gojo, from the time he was a teenager, the time he was a child, really, had the idea of being the strongest thrust upon him, and there was no one else to ever be there. Yeah. Trust them a little too much, maybe. Yeah, he definitely trusts the students a little too much, considering one just got yeeted off a roof.
Yep.
And the other one got shot to death. But I'm sure he wouldn't be too happy about that.
I think Gojo's bet's gonna pay off soon. Like, not right now, but I think it will.
I wouldn't mind him coming back, to be honest.
I mean, that's fair.
At this point.
I just don't see how they can continue. Like, I think Gojo's end was perfect.
I don't think if you do bring him back, I don't think you can kill him again. It just wouldn't hit.
The best way that I can see Gojo being brought back, like I talked about this before, I think the only way I think Gojo should come back is if Gojo is on par with his students. He can't come back as the strongest. I think the students have to reach his level, so he doesn't have to have that burden on him alone anymore.
Yeah, so he'll come back as Gojo Satoru, not the strongest. I see what you're saying now. Yeah, so that, and it's also just that Gojo finally got the praise from a strong guy, because imagine, imagine you're the #1 athlete of your generation, and everyone else is like 5 leagues below you. And they're all saying, dude, you're so good at this. You're so good at this. But like, you always wonder, like, am I actually good, or do you all just suck?
Yeah.
And then he meets Sukuna, and like, this guy is a real him. And Sukuna's like, nah, dude, you're like the real deal. And that's why we see in that one chapter where Gojo's on his knees after blowing his own brain out, and Sukuna's like, you're unenlightened. How pathetic. And Gojo looks like legitimately sad. He's like, holy shit, am I a fraud? And then he's elated to see that Sukuna, the effects of Limited Void went off. And he's like, I can keep in the game. I can tussle with this guy. And Sukuna's like, holy shit, he can tussle, dude. This guy's real shit.
No, the best part about that entire scene and that fight, because I feel this one moment is so underrated because no one talks about it. What Gojo immediately says is he can still look cool in front of his students. That's his first thought.
He's like, I still get to look cool in front of my students because I can still look like I'm still strong. I am strong, and I love that because he's like, he's not just a fraud. He's Gojo. Yep. And Sukuna's like, Gojo. And Sukuna smiles at him like, hell yeah. Let's dance.
I think that is like Sukuna's acknowledgement of like, you are like, that's also at the moment where I think Gojo answered Geto's question. Are you Gojo Satoru because you're the strongest, or are you the strongest because you're Gojo Satoru? Which he is the strongest because he's Gojo.
Yeah, it's like, it's the question of like, is he the strongest because he's Gojo Satoru? But it's more so like, Sukuna smiles at him. Gojo gets to smile, and he's like, I'm not, unenlightened. He's not just some nameless fish to Sukuna anymore. He's Satoru Gojo.
Yeah.
And Gojo's like, hell yeah. And Gojo's like, hell yeah. And Sukuna's like, hell yeah. And a real him. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Sukuna is a real him. I'm comparing him to compare who else is him in the modern day besides Sukuna, besides Gojo. Like, Yuta is him, but like, Sukuna is him. You feel me? Like, for Gojo, there's no one else on his level. So, like, meeting an actual him compared to Fodder Nanami. Fodder Yuta.
Yeah.
They're all fodder for him. So when he meets someone who's actually strong, he's hyped.
Yep.
Maybe not hyped in the sense that, like, he wants him to end the world, but he's like, this is the one opportunity to prove this ego thing to myself that I've always wondered about.
To prove if my strength decided my identity, or if my identity decided my strength.
Gojo wouldn't be the strongest if the merger or Sukuna survives and drives the next generation to the extreme. I mean, that's true. That's true, it wouldn't be, but it's more low. It's more like the concept of the strongest, okay? It's not like literally power scaling all the time.
Yeah.
Like, he is viewed as the strongest. Like, even if all of his students surpassed him, they probably always look. They probably always look up to him as the strongest character, because they're his students.
Yeah. Like that's why I think the only good way to bring Gojo back would be to bring him back on par with his students.
This him stuff is cringe at this point. Hell, you're in the wrong community.
Yeah, why are you here?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't like the word him and you're reading Jujutsu Kaisen, it must be a rough time out there.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen it. I didn't even say it until I started reading Jujutsu Kaisen. I read all my comments. Dude. They just never stop.
Same.
It's never ending. That was probably my favorite panel / punch. I gotta look cool. Yeah, it was. It's great. It's great. It was kind of a lot of the fight was kind of put down by some of the discourse in the community at the time. Like, we didn't really get to enjoy the parts of the series with the Gojo and Sukuna acknowledging each other.
I need to reread that fight.
It is a good fight. I'm not sure if, as an actual battle, I don't like it that much, but like for the characters, I think it's pretty good.
Agreed.
It got overused. It was cool at one point. Yeah, it definitely did get overused.
Yeah. Did JJK have the best new gen run?
I think so.
Agreed.
Like, what's its competition?
My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer.
Yeah, it has the best one. Will Kusakabe rise up to be him? No.
Yes.
No.
He will.
I think he's gonna die.
Nah, he'll live. Because he doesn't want to be here.
JJK isn't ending this year, trust me. I'm kind of on the train with you that the JJK is going onwards into next year.
Yeah. Like, I think they are just straight up saying that Sukuna's not going to lose here.
Especially with the breaks we're getting. Like, 2 chapters on, a week break, 3 chapters on, a week break. I know usually it's like 3 chapters on, a week break, but this time, I don't know. Yeah. You have to wrap up a lot at this rate.
Oh, and Chainsaw Man, that's fair.
Chainsaw Man's good, but I don't think it's as good as Jujutsu Kaisen.
I think it's a bit overhyped.
There's not a lot to talk about with Chainsaw Man. A lot of the themes of Chainsaw Man. Well, I should say there is stuff to talk about, but a lot of the themes for Chainsaw Man are. How do I put this? It's kind of hard to explain because the actual chapters don't have a ton to talk about, but with Chainsaw Man, the themes of the story are very apparent, and they make a very good point of displaying them for you, the reader. So, like, as a whole, when you read through Chainsaw Man, it is a lot easier to pick up on the details because they're pretty in your face. And the story is much better as a whole. Then there aren't like these little tidbit fights because it's not a battle manga for the most part. That's the best way I could put that.
I think next chapter we're getting a flashback.
Yes, there is a break next week, Dan. We're suffering out here.
We're all suffering.
Dude, and like every time I see a chapter end and it's like Kusakabe is at the end of the panel, it's like, oh, this fodder guy is up next. I'm like, can we just get to like the actual characters that matter?
Get to the main show. Get to Yuji versus Sukuna. That's
like when Yuta showed up, I was just hoping they'd all show up because the sooner we get through the heavy hitters, the sooner we get to the point that Sukuna uses his open box and then he can lose.
Yeah. Because as long as Sukuna has that curse technique, he's not losing yet.
I had to stop Chainsaw Man. The pacing is kind of off for me. I really only enjoy it when I can read like 20 to 30 chapters at a time. I agree entirely. Chainsaw Man, like nothing happens in some of the chapters, but the story is really good. Some of the chapters are just very minor events. It's written much more like you're getting like a paragraph of a novel every chapter.
Yep.
Right, which I guess is kind of comics in general, but for Chainsaw Man, it's pretty apparent. It feels like you got like half the paragraph.
100%.
Undead Unluck popped off, to be honest. Not as popular, but real good. I haven't seen Undead Unluck or read it, so maybe you're right. Maybe it is better than JJK. I have no idea. I haven't read everything, guys. So when I say Jujutsu Kaisen is the best new gen shonen, it's the best one that I've read. I used to really like My Hero Academia, if you can't tell my YouTube name. Unfortunately, My Hero fell off so hard.
Yeah, I stopped reading after the Vigilante Deku arc.
Which fandom is more unhinged, My Hero Academia or JJK? It's a rough one. Probably
My Hero Academia just barely.
My Hero for sure. But I ain't gonna say JJK's fandom isn't unhinged, dude. I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah.
Like any normal person, any well socially adjusted person, like looks in on some of the conversations around power skill and they'd be like, "What the fuck is this?" I tried to explain that shit to my dad one time. He's like, "You do what on the internet?"
Bruh.
Definitely tap into Undead Unlock. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, Seb.
I just never got into My Hero, a struggle for me. JJK fandom is insane. JJK fandom is insane. I am a part of it.
Oh yeah, same here.
I'm not
These
above
people-
them. I'm one of them.
These gremlins are crazy.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a whole lot better. I mean, I'm a YouTuber for it. That's peak. That's peak bad.
Yeah. Same.
Though I do want to start getting into some more of the other YouTubers to come on. People are mentioning Alonzi, and I do watch him. And he is doing the same thing I did a year ago, so I have the respect to like the YouTube grind's hard. And starting at a channel, most people like you really got to grind it out. It's a rough one.
100%.
And he also seems like one of the only people I've taken a look at that have like real passion and a real idea of where they want their content to go.
Yeah. Like he is one of the better JJK YouTubers. I'm happy he's succeeding.
He should succeed.
Yeah, he deserves it.
You also have the same theory as me for the Sukuna box.
Bruh.
And that's all the it is funny. He also has some good thumbnails.
Yeah, I like this one.
That's hard to do, yeah. He's been making content for 2 months. It's a grind, guys. It's a grind, and if you really want to start, for anyone who wants to become a YouTuber, it's just make videos. Quirk, you ever checked out that guy with the pencil? I know Eternal does. I do watch him. Full disclosure, I watch pretty much everybody. I watch everybody.
Yeah.
I'm always peeking in. I'm all about that support. Like, unless you're like a straight up clout farming goblin, I am going to support you.
Same here. I support I genuinely like. I sometimes search for smaller JJK YouTubers because I want to see what they're doing. See if like
There's a passion that you don't get from some of the bigger YouTubers that you find in smaller channels. I usually feel.
Agreed.
Is YouTube my full-time job? No, not really.
Yeah.
I don't upload remotely enough for that. I also don't take sponsorships, so. I always feel like sponsorships just break the flow of a video.
Oh, agreed.
Like super hard. Like I don't even care if it's the most gamer brain sponsorship you could possibly plug.
Yeah.
It's
When I was doing my 2 sponsors on the channel, I was always trying to figure out where's the best place to put this so it doesn't break the flow of things.
You know who I like? You know who I like on YouTube? I've been watching for a while, and this guy doesn't have a goddamn Twitter, and it's pissing me off, dude, because I've been trying to get him on the stream at some point, and I cannot get in contact with him. I'd like message him in his chat. But you guys should check out Hakari Desu. I've been watching him for months. He has a great mic for like a small channel. He has a great microphone.
He does have a Twitter.
No, he has a Twitter, but like I can't even message him. You have to follow me back.
Oh.
He's never followed me back. He doesn't even open it. His last post is from March of last year.
He also has a TikTok. Oh, he has a business email.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I'll write that down. Write that down, Flame.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I've been watching for a while, and like I feel his pain. He uploaded a video, and he puts a lot of effort into his editing, and only like 100, like 500 people watched it. Like that's gotta feel that would piss me off. It's like I want him to get more rewarded for his work.
Same. He deserves it. Like he's been at this for a while. He deserves it.
He's trying it, and I'm sure he's busy in real life, so he can't update all the time. Like and the YouTube algorithm will punish you.
Yep.
But like it's gotta feel demoralizing. So gas him.
Gas him up, everyone.
Gas him up.
Dep
Plug him. Plug him all the videos. Do you think we'll get a sequel manga to JJK? Maybe a flashback manga for Tengen lore or Heian era Sukuna? Maybe. I just feel like Gege Akatame isn't going to take JJK to the full level it could be at.
Y'all need to remember this. Like, Gege doesn't want to write JJK. That wasn't his original thing. He wants to write an idol manga. I have a hope.
That's gotta piss me off, dude.
Yeah, it's so weird. I have a hope though that Toto's gonna show up in the idol manga because I don't know why he'd fit perfectly in, but he would. And it would just be so funny if they take place in the same world. Just Toto keeps Jujutsu's like sorcery as a secret, even though he knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think JJK is getting to that point. It's more popular than ever.
Yep.
You know,
like,
I think
I'm kind of. I'm
Sorry,
sad about this, but Gege is gonna abandon JJK as soon as it's done.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like, which is crazy because JJK is more popular than it's ever been. But, you know, for an author like Gege Akatame, first of all, Gege Akatame is fucking loaded at this point. They are a loaded author. They'll never have to work again. So they can do whatever they want.
Also, if it's your passion, then go in for your passion.
Yeah, go for your passion. I know I'm saying some of that in real life, is go for your passion. Because if you're making less money on your passion, as long as you can sustain yourself, dude, you'll be happier. You'll be happier overall. And people can tell when you're not passionate about something, for sure.
No bars.
And on the note of YouTube, if you're making YouTube videos and you aren't getting the results you want, or you aren't getting the engagement you want, never blame the other people for getting popular. Just look at what other people do. And never get mad at, don't get pissed at failure. Get inspired.
Funnily enough, there's something Sukuna actually says that really fits in well, which is what he says to Jogo. That what makes a lot of people never reach their full potential is comparing yourselves to others.
100%. There's no point. And that's not to say you shouldn't look at other people and see what they're doing right. You know, if you see someone outperform you in something, look at what they're doing that you're not doing.
Yep. Learn how to apply it, but at the same time, don't limit yourself to say you can't apply it.
Yeah. For sure.
Welcome to Eternal and Quirkless Wisdom.
Yeah, welcome to Eternal and Quirkless Wisdom. I think some of that wisdom just from my dad. But, you know, my dad's pretty fucking rigid on these things. He was in the military for 25 years.
My dad's a therapist, so...
Your dad's a therapist. My dad was military for 20 plus years, so a rigid life.
Yeah.
It's just kind of how they think. Nobara is the lead in Gege's idol manga. Please no.
Please no.
I don't even know what idol
manga.
Guys, I'll be honest. I have no idea what an idol manga is. All I know is it's something I don't want to read.
The only one I know about is Oshinoko because it's dark as fuck. But
I don't know what it even is. I just imagine it's something very, very weave-like.
All right, I won't tell you. But yeah.
Let's see, Gege is gonna make he can let other people write those. I hope we get more light novels. I think Jump throws obscene amounts of money at Gege to continue it. To be honest. Yeah, if you're a top series in Shonen Jump.
Situation. I really am. I'm scared this might be a turn to a Naruto situation, actually. Because, the reason he came back to write Boruto is because his original manga he wanted to do didn't do well.
Let me end the poll here. Do we think... I'm going to put a power ceiling question, because I just feel like it.
Oh, no.
Do we think... Is Kusakabe going to be above Kashimo?
Bruh.
Dude, I gotta go after my farmer here.
Yeah. You just, Yes. Come on, everybody, join the Kusakabe side. Come on, join the Kusakabe side. Come on.
Yes. Oh, they're coming.
Yes. The Kusakabe agenda must be strong, my brothers. Yes.
Couldn't Maki kill Sukuna with cursed speech by telling him to die, or does that only work on low-grade cursed spirits? Only he probably just die in the attempt.
Yeah, there's straight up a cursed energy limit. Like there's a lot of hacks in JJK that people do not want to admit are power based. That is one of the ones that are power based. because it doesn't like there are limits to how much it can do.
Anyone that says yes is a dummy or a troll. Keep that energy, Calamity.
Come on, everybody, say yes.
Keep that energy.
Come on.
How strong is
Come on.
Kusakabe? Have you seen him fight?
Nah, watch Kusakabe live. Watch him win. Come on, Kusakabe.
Hell
you
though,
can do this.
Kusakabe is getting vaporized in 1 millisecond flat. Who else? That's everybody, pretty much.
Yeah.
Watch him. Watch him be him.
Kusakabe, just a reminder, Kusakabe is about to fight a Black Flash champ Sukuna. So...
The videos about potential being wasted, like real life from the story, is incredible. JJK, yeah, fiction is always teaching people something, but JJK has some pretty good themes in it.
Yeah.
I think that's really what lends itself to the popularity, because you look at the writing of JJK, especially the character writing, and then you compare it to, I don't know, like, what are you going to compare it to? The other battle manga that are coming out? There's no competition.
Yep.
There's just no competition. It's written more like a seinen in a lot of ways.
100%.
Every now,
the closest I can think is like Demon Slayer, but even then, it's not that close.
every now and then you get a like, you know, your Attack on Titan shonen or your Jujutsu Kaisen. Granted, I think Attack on Titan is more complicated than Jujutsu Kaisen is, but still, like, you get these series that transcend their demographic.
Yeah.
I also, something I like about Jujutsu Kaisen is there isn't a bunch of dumb fan service.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That shit bothers me so much.
In before it's Jogo v Old Man Zenin.
In before it's yeah. Old man Zenin. Poor Naobito. But we've been going for like 3 hours here, so I'm probably gonna wind down the stream here now.
Oh yeah, holy shit.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Just bring me on, man.
We hit them all. The meme is real. Gege saving Shonen by writing a seinen.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, a battle manga seinen. That's pretty hype.
The scene is great.
And for those of you who are curious, I will also be making a chapter review for this video. For this chapter. I don't know if I'll do a stream like this every time. Usually they go completely off the rails by the end.
As they should be.
As they should, as they always do.
Because they're fun. And it's about having fun in life.
Power ranking: number 1 Sukuna, number 2 Gojo, number 3 Kenjaku, number 4 Yorzu, number 5 Yuta, number 6 Yuta.
Right, no way man's wrote Yuta twice.
My man, I think one was supposed to be Yuji.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, Sukuna's number 1.
Yep.
Putting that out there.
At least you got that one right.
I'll deny it. It's number 1 and 2, kind of hard. It's kind of hard to fuck up number 1 and 2 at this point.
Yeah.
When the narrator keeps saying, everyone but Gojo. That's basically what it feels like.
Gojo one-shots everybody.
Alright, guys. Thanks for coming on today. I will be making the video. We'll get on that. My Oompa Loompas are on the case.
Yep.
Will you guys do live spoiler reactions? I might at some point, but usually they're pretty late. And I prioritize sleep over all things.
Yeah, same. And I still have school, so.
That too. Alright, guys. Thanks everyone for the support. Thanks everyone for showing up. You guys were here for a long-ass time. Longer than I expected. I know this shit went off the rails. It usually does. But we'll be back again with a video and more streams and maybe some collaborations. Thank you all. And goodbye. Good night. Evening. Morning. Peace.
Bye.